21 degrees for Carlton taking on Melbourne. The Demons trying to honour Max Gawn and also Tom McDonald in their 250th game. Paddy Cross comes in for his debut, while the Blues, 17 days after they survived victory against the Tigers, they're trying to get a clear indication as to where they sit in season 2026 as well. And Taylor Byrne will make his debut this afternoon. Matt Clinch to call the action alongside Ben Cameron. Welcome to you, Benny.
Hello, Clinchy. Great to be here. No late changes for either of these two sides. They've had a close recent history. Their last 4 games decided by an average margin of 4 points, but Carlton have won all of those for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, hopefully we get something similar if that's the theme of the day. Daniel Harford, Bob Murphy, your experts in the back row this afternoon. Welcome to you firstly, Bob.
Good afternoon, fellas. Nice to be in your company. What a beautiful day at the MCG, and looking forward to it.
And 1:30 for the Baggers to come along this afternoon to try and get a gauge as to where this club sits. The Big Brass have been out during the week. The 8-point plan as to Michael Voss in the final year of his contract.
Good afternoon all. Thank you, Matty. It's going to be exciting. I reckon you're right. I reckon we find out a bit about both teams. Melbourne we saw in that first game against St Kilda here at the MCG, and they were pretty impressive. Last week, a little bit lacklustre in phases. So who are they? And the Blues fans will be very keen for a forward showing. Sunday
afternoon footy at the MCG on ABC Sport. The Blues and the Demons trying to get early runnings in season 2026, both in 1-1. Here's Ben Cameron on ABC Sport.
Max Gawn in game 250 wins the tap. Out after it, Cozzy Pickett. Walsh beats him to it. He's tackled to ground by Steele. Nowhere to go. And a ball up. Broad sunshine here in Melbourne. A gorgeous day. 20 degrees Celsius. Maybe a light zephyr across the ground. Perfect conditions for football. Pitnet palming it down. Gawn following up at ground level. Gets it back from Langdon. Snaps the D's inside 50. Bouncing ball. Dean tracking it back. Overruns it. Wiedering there. Fritsch goes in to pick it up. He leaves it behind. Wiedering does gather. Gets rid of it. Away towards Cowan. Clear and kick for the Blues. Cozzy Pickett's onto it. Half forward here for the Demons. Runs to 50. Centering ball. Overshoots the target. And then Carroll will clear for the Blues. Tumbles it into the middle.
Up towards Max Gawn. Got a touch onto it and lumbers after it. The Melbourne captain coming the other way. It's gathered by McGovern. Hand pass to Pitnet. The Blues up towards half forward. On the bounce, Kemp gathers. It's a vacant goal square. He tries to get it there. Harry Mackay's caught in tow. Tom McDonald races back. Provides good support to Petty as he wins the battle against Ainsworth, and the Demons a chance to clear as Langdon sends it up the wing through the hands of Chandler. Running onto it, Zach Williams reloads inside 50 for the Blues. McGovern in from the side, dropped the mark. Tom McDonald couldn't gather. Lever's hand pass to Gawn, put him under pressure. Then Langdon slipped over in the left forward pocket. They put the pressure on and a ball up deep in attack for the Blues.
It's a bit of heat on early. Both teams moving the ball pretty freely up and down the ground. A few skill errors costly though.
Umpire puts it up. Pitnet palming it down, coming through Ainsworth. Nowhere to go. The Blues in their traditional dark navy blue with the navy blue shorts and the raised monogram for the CFC logo on their chest again. All pinballing around inside their forward pocket. Cozzy Pickett, he's dispossessed in the tackle. Windsor gathers, goes back to Lever, and the D's repel. A short kick for Chandler. Still inside the defensive arc. No score through the opening 2 minutes.
Chandler called to play on, so sends it as far as he can up the Shane wing. Wiedering in front. Might have had an arm held as well against Mychek. And the free kick will go the Blues' way. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron call the action. Bob Murphy, Daniel Harford, your experts. Lauren Borden, the final member of our team, sitting in the front row this afternoon. Welcome to you, Loz.
Oh, thanks, Clinchy. It's amazing to be down here. Even in the shade, it's still quite warm, 21 degrees and hot in the sun if you're sitting in the Shane Warne stand. But a beautiful day down here. I'll go back to you. A bit of push and shove.
Yeah, the kick from Wiedering up towards Pitnet, who takes a one-handed mark. Carlton fans thought it could have been 50 against Gawn. He was dragged down. He kicks to the pocket. Looking for Mackay. Got fingertips to it. Can't hang on.
He's very lucky not to give away 50 metres there, Max.
I would have thought so. It's interesting that matchup, Pitnet in the last 4 or 5 encounters has kept him to relatively small numbers to his averages. So he's got not the wood on him, but he's got a really strong record against Max Gawn, Mark Pitnet.
Throwing in the forward pocket for the Blues. Tapping it down. Pitnet gets it away towards Cripps, who goes to Chesser, and then a clearing kick for the D's, but it will come back. Wiedering marks 60 out from goal. So Carlton with the early inside 50s, leading 3-2 there as Wiedering goes back towards the middle part of the ground, gets rid of it to Zach Williams, kicks up the pipe, no one can mark it, and Windsor is taken to ground. Ball up, 30 out from the attacking goal for the Blues, 3 minutes play.
I like seeing Zach Williams at half-back. It's where he made a name for himself at the Giants. He gets thrown around a little bit in more modern years, but He's marshalling the troops there at half-back at the moment.
Carroll tried to throw a boot at it from 35 metres out, couldn't make good purchase, and down low, and Ainsworth has it locked up to him. So umpire throws it aloft, 35 metres out from the Blues goal. Pitnet tries to get it down. Cripps had a fumble. Cully to steal, tackle, dispossessed. Onto it, Cozzy Pickett, dodging and weaving out of defence as he gets a hand pass over the top. Cully can't gather the bounce. Here's a chance for Carroll. Nice sidestep onto his left, drives it down low. Kept lunging out, can't take the mark, and Lever does well. Gathers it off the turf. Hand pass back to Japp, and the Demons on the last line to Tom McDonald. Kicks over the head of Sharp, and the mark is taken. Ollie Hollands intercepts for the Blues at left half forward.
Well, they can't get out the D's. This is pressure is building. Something's going to happen here.
Hollands kicks inside 50. Jath drops the mark, and the D's are there to work it out. Tom McDonald, game 250, gets it to Langdon. Kicks for Steele on the wing. Maybe this is the exit for the D's. And he looks infield. Punched away by Dean. Back into the mark and coming through quickly. Lindsay tackled to ground. Dispossessed, ball jars free, the Blues are there, still fighting after it though, the D's. Salem wins it, bouncing handball for Sharp, he darts away towards half forward, centering kick, looking for Cully, or Van Rooyen, take your pick. Myercheck roves, gets back on the right, snaps on goal, bouncing ball, bad bounce. Wrong bounce, got the wrong and needed the leg break. Minor score, it's the first score of the day. It goes the way of the D's, we've played 5 minutes.
I know it's only early, but Cozzy Pickett looks very lively, and he looks just that his power and speed. No one's been able to go with him so far. It is only early, but he looks dangerous, Cozzy Pickett.
Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sporters. Zach Williams rings the Blues back into play to Dean and works it up the wing, and the mark is taken by Hewitt at left half back. Decides to go back inside the defensive 50 to Dean and takes the mark, and he can complete a switch to the right back pocket.
Just watch Pitnet here. Pitnet's to centre half forward. He's taken Max Gawn out of the game.
Wiedering takes the mark, chips it up the ground to Louis Young. He can give it back to Wiedering if he wants. That's an interesting battle to keep an eye on half. As Wiedering from right half back kicks up towards space in the end. It'll bounce in front of Pitnet, tries to slap it on. Salem's in front position. McGovern slides in, wins the footy. Then Salem lays the tackle, spills out to Evans. Hand pass to Carlton over the top. Cripps can't gather. It's a chance for Salem once more. Hand pass to Windsor. At half back to Cozzy Pickett. Has Jaff, gives him the hand pass, takes the tackler on. Ollie Hollands couldn't hang on, and Jaff's still standing with the footy. Turns inboard. Oh, that's a shank. Misses Langdon. Bad place to turn it over. Running onto it, Hayward. Tries to send it along to the goal square. Mackay's out position, and Lever takes the mark.
Well, I mentioned skill errors before. It's crueling both teams at the minute. Very lucky to get away with it.
The D's working it out to the wing. Langdon again in the long sleeves, rolled up. Kind of the Adamuse spec in that Melbourne jumper. The D's in their royal blue with the red V and the white shorts. As Windsor kicks around the wing to Trell-Pick. That's Latrell Pickett. He gives it off to Sharp into the pocket. Looking for Fritsch. Brought away by Carroll. Out of play and a throw in the forward pocket here for the D's. I just want to pick that up with you, half. So Max Gawn often likes to sit a kick behind the play defensively for the D's, but you're saying that Pitnet was taking him so far forward that he can't do that.
So there was a kick in, and Pitnet's inside forward 50. And I reckon there's enough respect in that relationship where Gawn goes with him. It has to respect him and go with him.
Melbourne by a point. Gawn flicks it over the bat. Pitnet couldn't gather. Cowan just sockers it off the ground. It's a half back where Ainsworth looks to run onto it. Hand pass to Hewitt. Corralled by Langdon. Gives it back to Ainsworth at half back in two minds. Thought about the hand pass to Chester. Now drives it long down the wing. Kemp caught behind against Petty, but he does win it. Kemp worked his way to the front and then screws a kick, bouncing along the turf up towards Jagger Smith. Can't gather. Spills out off Salem. And working back Windsor, gives it away to Tom McDonald. He's back in possession. Kick is smothered though by McGovern. Salem tried to hand pass it over his head for Melbourne. Turns it over though. McGovern turns, kicks to half forward, and Evans is all on his own. He looks into the pocket, has Mackay there, deeper. Pushing forward is Carroll. Centering kick, great patience. And it's Jagger Smith who runs into space and looking for his first goal at AFL level.
Well, I don't come across too many players in their careers, Bob, that play 2 games, you get a 3-year extension. You get more years extension than you've played games. It's a pretty good effort from this kid. But that's what's happened during the week. They adore him. They know they've got something special. And the fans will love this.
Directly in front, 45 metres out. Jagger Smith looking for the opening goal of the match. And that brings Carlton fans to life. A look to the here and now into the future. And every Carlton player comes to celebrate. with the second-year blue, pick 3 in 2024. His first goal in AFL footy.
Oh, he's an excitement machine, that's for sure. Only early in his career, as you mentioned there, Half. He's got the comfort of a reasonably long contract already. Hasn't seemed to have filled his belly too much during the week. He's had a nice start today. It is a game of high octane pressure, high intensity running. That looks like it's pretty warm out there. I think both sides would like to see a little bit more composure in their play. But the youngster there, he showed a few of the older heads just what composure really looks like. Great finish.
Restart in the middle. Gawn winning the tap. Out after it. Pitnet at ground level. He's over the footy. Eventually Cripps extracts it. Lifts the handball to Walsh. Drives the Blues inside 50. Marking contest. Petty spoils it away. Onto it quickly McDonald. Last line here for the D's. His handball goes to himself. Goes and fetches it. Now Salem carried out. And a throw in 25 metres around for the attacking, or from the attacking goal for the Blues. City end of the ground.
We are interactive as always, 0437 774 774 if you want to get in touch with us throughout the afternoon. Pitnet in front position against Gorn, palms it down to Cripps around the body. Second goal for the Blues. And the Carlton captain, with some close attention, able to finish in front of goal. And happy to let a few of the Melbourne players know about it. Some petties involved there, but there was one player in particular who was right into the face of
Holstrup.
Holstrup, yeah, he's the tagger. He's got the Naz roll from the other week when you predicted that correctly.
Well, on that half.
One of our SMSs picked it up too, just by the way.
Daniel from Castlemaine. Benny, have you had an on-air apology from Murph and Half from
there'll be no apology
tag last week? Oh,
there'll be no apology, but there'll be an acknowledgement. If that makes any sense, Daniel. So he went to Tolstrup straight away, pushed him down after he kicked that goal. And all the boys got around him too because they know that it's going to be a tough day at the office for the skipper if he can't break the tag.
Don't often see him, well I haven't anyway, just go on the offensive like that. I mean, it was the beautiful body positioning, shoved him out on the right hip, but then went straight to him to rub his nose in it. Interesting from the skipper.
Here is Tolstrup going after the footy, and Cripps has got him this time.
I don't mind it, Bob.
Oh no, I liked it. It had aggression to it, but it was a real statement of you want to step into my arena, that's what I can do, and I'll do it all day.
I'm with you 100%. And it's also, this is a big game for Carlton.
Yeah.
They need to be really aggressive today.
Zach Williams with the clearance, dumps it on his left boot, shallow inside 50. McGovern can't mark. Ainsworth swoops onto it, leaves it behind, and Salem cleans up for Melbourne. Kick out to the wing, bouncing ball for Sparrow, clean hands. Can't get it to Langdon, out of play. Lasso free kick, last disposal out of bounds.
Melbourne have to tidy up that kick out of their defensive 50.
Hayward looks inside 50 and Mackay's got it. 40 out, very tight angle, 3 metres in from the boundary line, left forward pocket.
It's a good mark from Harry Mackay, but just on the other side of it, the Melbourne Footy Club, it's been a win for Carlton in terms of their defensive team structure on those releases. They've been able to cover those exits. Wiedering's had a couple of marks already in that position. That's good structure. But the Melbourne Footy Club's ball use when they leave that defensive 50 has been scrappy at best.
Likes playing against Melbourne. 3 goals in 3 of his last 4 games against them. This is out of bounds on the full. From Harry.
70% of the games in the forward half of the Blues at the moment. 40% of it's inside their forward 50. So Bob's point's absolutely right. They just cannot exit. And a lot of it's to do with their own disposal and decision making.
Carlton lead by 11 points. 12 played opening term.
Salem to Jaff. Chips it to Lever, who marks in the back pocket. Can chip it outside defensive 50 and Langford for Melbourne. Sends it up the wing. Van Rooyen one-on-one with Young. Young gives him a little shove. Ball comes to the back. Zach Williams gathers over the top to Carroll. It opens up in front of him. Dodging to his left. He loads up and sends it inside 50. H is the target. He's got 2 to deal with. And in front, Lever takes the mark. It was a shove against Tom McDonald regardless. So the free kick is going to go first. Is it? No, Mark. No. Hand pass now to McDonald. Game 250 for Tom McDonald as well. 16 years with the Demons. As he kicks out of defence and finds Lindsay. Lindsay has options at left half back where the run is on. And a chance for Langford. As he's almost tackled as he gets the kick up towards Jacob Van Rooyen. Just can't complete the mark in front of Young. And offhands it goes out of play. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
You might be able to see a few of those spare seats on the Shane Warne stand, but I tell you what, the members' stand is packed to the brim. So plenty of Melbourne fans, it seems, have come out for Max Gawn, Tom McDonald's 250th game.
Young with the kick to the logo, and Will Hayward flying to take the mark, the former Swan. Lifts his kick to another in Hewitt. He'll just poke it up towards half forward. Hudson O'Keefe comes up and marks. 60 metres from home, right in front of those members Loz mentioned. The shadows of the stands on the northern side of the ground. He looks into the pocket. Mackay gets some separation. Hands to it, doesn't mark. Out the back, Kemp. Handball to Walsh. Back into the corridor. Steele's there. Handball picked off. McGovern snaps over his shoulder and misses. Very nearly from Mitch. Just overcooked it slightly. 2-1-13 plays one behind. 14 played. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Great little snatch there from McGovern. He knew what was happening. He read the handball before it had happened.
Lindsay out of defence to a 1-on-1. Steele.
It's another win for Carlton's structure there. That's the spot that they've been able to close down the Melbourne Footy Club. They're trying to break outside of that defensive 50, Melbourne, and Carlton have just been able to either zero it, get it out of bounds, or mark it and take the ball off them.
13-4, the inside 50's the Blues' way, and it could have been a bit more with their shots in front of goal from the stoppage. Spills out, Steele can't gather. Florent gets a hand pass out to Ainsworth. Off balance, Ollie Hollands with an up and under kick. And in the hand, it's the player in front, Burn on Tapu, who protected the space and takes the mark. Not a bad way to get involved, and a possibility for first kick, first goal.
It's a strong piece of work, wasn't it? Read the ball really well off the boot, used his body to create the space, and was good enough to clunk it in the end. That was a nice little welcome to AFL footy, I reckon.
Pick 45 in 2025. 5 goals for Vic Metro in the National Championships came from the GWV Rebels. And in that famous number from Adrian Gleeson in the 39, he veers out to the left, strikes it well. What a way to announce yourself. As the Carlton players come once more to celebrate a first goal. And the faithful are loving what they're seeing so far this afternoon. Young and old combining. And the Blues lead by 18 points of the opening 3 goals of the match. 3-1-19 to Melbourne, 1 behind. 15 minutes gone in the opening quarter. If you're wondering about the events at the Adelaide Oval, it's the Eagles who prevailed by 2 points over Port Adelaide. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts on ABC Sport.
I don't remember Chris Langford running from the opposite goal square to celebrate my first goal, Bob. I don't remember that happening.
Hello to Chris in Sydney too, just listening in.
The ground is the same size as it's always been, more or less. There's certainly a lot more buy-in in the current generation. Look, I mean, there's something very pure about a debutant kicking a goal with his first kick, but just the manner in which he took the mark and finished off the work was of a high class.
Yeah, it wasn't ever.
Eddie doing the ruck work, able to palm it down, and then Sparrow burrows in, wins it, snaps it up to half forward here for the D's. Bouncing ball, Fritsch going in, and the Blues pinch it. Louis Young makes it his, gives it off to Chesser. Off the half-back flank, kicking up to the wing. Tolstrup goes up, and he gets clattered into. There's a free kick anyway. It'll go to Mackay. What did you see, Daniel Harford?
McDonald held Mackay, probably to try and stop him from clattering into Tolstrup going back with the flight, but the umpire saw it. It was all for nothing for Tolstrup or Carlton.
Carlton leading by 18 points. We played nearly 17 in the opening term.
And the Blues in complete control as Wiedering switches it across half back to Dean. Peter's younger boy switches it out to Cowan, who takes the mark centre of the Shane Warnstand wing. Spinning the ball in his hands as no one really runs at him, so takes his time before reloading inside 50. O'Keefe's the target, a 2-on-1. Petty is supported by Tom McDonald, who flies across to take the mark. The Blues by 18 points as they send it up the Shane Warnstand wing. Cross trying to get involved in his first disposal. He's bumped off it by Evans. Cowan for the Blues. Hand pass back to Frankie Evans. Tight against the boundary line. Great kick and finds Haywood.
Lockie Cowan should be getting a lot of love from his teammates, and he is. Came across to intercept the mark initially and did enough to just pressure. It was just perceived pressure in there to get the Melbourne player to drop the mark, and then followed up with that handball for the delivery inside forward 50. Big pump up for him.
Haywood kicked 2 goals so far this season in his new colours of navy blue. This one won't have the journey off balance. It was touched off the boot. Salem still has to deal with it though. Pressure comes from Byrne. Hand pass to Lever. Releases Lindsay, who drives Melbourne out of defence. Up towards Cross, who's running a long way on the wing. And he gets there to the drop of the ball.
Moves on the handball. Away to a teammate there in Langford. Gives it back to Cross, and now Langford will get it back. Moves it on towards Fritsch. Spins out of trouble. He's up towards half forward, onto Sparrow. Sparrow gets a handball away. Langford again snaps his kick. Smothered. Charged down by the Horace Grant of the AFL. Frankie Evans in those goggles. And he's got him holding the ball.
Yeah, he dived on it, Frankie.
So the free kick will go to Langford. Centering kick, looking for Cully. Up he goes. Can't take the mark. Down at ground level, Sharp. Away to Langford. Going in. Or Langdon, rather. Going in. And then Elijah Hollins eventually extracts the footy and snaps it out to Jagger Smith.
Smith wins the footy. Hand pass wide of Ollie Hollins, though. As Latrell Pickett races after him. Hand pass to Chesser, who heard Pickett coming and forces the hand pass out of play. Umpire says offhand, so throw in rather than last touch. The Blues leading by 18 points. 3-1-19 to Melbourne, one behind. While the Eagles came from behind, led by 11 points at three-quarter time, defeating Port Adelaide by 2 points with 10 of the last 16 goals in the match. From the stoppage, Jagger Smith squeezed the kick into the middle of the ground, a bouncing ball. Spinning out of traffic, Elijah Holland, or in fact into traffic, as Tholstrup lays the tackle, not rewarded. Ollie Hollins kicks out towards Evans. He has it in the middle of the MCG. The lead is on from Big H, and Mackay marks on his chest. Out to the right, 45 metres out from goal.
They've been able to get sideways for the contest a lot, the Carlton boys. They've been able to just chip the ball sideways, handball release back into the corridor or to the width, coming straight out laterally from the contest, which has been catching the D's defensive system napping.
Welcome to our South Australian and WA listeners to the MCG, the voice of Daniel Harford alongside Bob Murphy, Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron. It's an 18-point lead, the Blues way. Harry Mackay from out to the left, 45 metres out. He joins the growing list of goal kickers. And the Blues have put on the first four here at the MCG. 4-1-25 to Melbourne, one behind. And a shot early in the match. Mackay put it out on the full, so that'll do his confidence the world of good. This has been the problem for the D's under Stephen King in the first couple of matches, as they can leak goals. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts on ABC Sport.
Well, it started with good defensive structure from Carlton Footy Club. They were able to keep the ball in their forward 50, but as the quarter's gone, it's just a total domination of the game in their forward half. They've been able to win the ball, show at least more composure than the Melbourne Footy Club, who've shown just about zilch in terms of composure and being able to string possessions together. That Harry Mackay, Tom McDonald matchup, Harry was able to put 5 metres on Tom there. That's a concern for the Melbourne Footy Club at the moment.
Out of the middle again go the Blues. Cripps gets rid of it to Jagger Smith. His kick picked off by Lindsay. At fullback for the Demons, moves it over to Jath, back pocket. Demons today rolled up in casual clothes, and dare I say it, the starter's been a little casual. Maybe dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
I like it, Benny. I like it a lot. Yeah, not sure this pre-game walk-in stuff. I'm an old man yelling at clouds, I'm sure, but I don't know. It's not for me.
In the civvies.
Represent your club, I reckon.
No club polo, club shorts.
It doesn't have to be the suit like we used to wear, Bob, but maybe a little polo.
Melbourne just kicking it around inside their defensive arc. They complete the double switch. Jath to Gawn in game 250, onto Steele. Backward of the wing, kicks around the boundary line. Jai Cully goes up. Hands to it, doesn't mark, and the Blues are there. Carroll to Young, kick smothered by Cully. Back to Carroll, loops it for Williams. Carlton ball down the members' wing. Jagger Smith, handball infield. Away to Hayward, zigging, zagging. Back to Smith. Cully's got him holding the ball. Umpire lets them rumble, no prior. Ball knocked out, now Steele picks it up for Melbourne.
Tries to loop a hand pass over the top to Latrell Pickett. He's over the boundary line.
Matty Carroll's had a big start. He's been very, very good off half-back.
So what we talk a lot about, who's going to own the corridor, but it looks like both teams today, so far in this first quarter, want to own the boundary line. They're trying to move the ball, and they've been able to do it with a fair bit of ease, certainly from the Carlton side of things.
Possession number 6 for Carroll, up towards half forward. Tholstrup a little slow, getting a hand pass back to Gawn, who just sends a high, long, clearing ball in the middle of the ground. Underneath it, juggling mark taken by Florent. Had no body contact, then changed his mind, dropped the ball, called a play on, no one runs at him. So Melbourne a little tardy there. The kick out wide for Harry Mackay. And he takes the mark leading up, and look back from Lindsay, wondering where his support was. Trying to fill the hole, and Mackay marks out to the right. His previous shot was out to the left. A chance for Harry to put through his second.
Their energy level is through the roof, Carlton, at the moment. Challenge is going to be sustaining it, but gee, it's been good to watch.
I haven't seen Harry move this freely for quite a while. He's getting up high, but he's moving at pace and leading with real purpose.
2021 Coleman medalist. Mackay's shot is across the face of the left. Rising over the top is Langford.
The kicking's
Punches it
still
through.
on brand-ish, but he's moving well.
24-point lead the Blues way as we tick past 23 minutes gone. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Jath with a poke to the pocket. I'm going to find Lever. Lever will go back to Jath. And now he'll look at the corridor. Fine. Tolstrup just got a body spoil from Harry Mackay and wins a free kick. Carlton Tolstrup.
Again, though, I like that. That is overt pressure from your big key forward from Harry there. I liked it.
Gives it off to Cozzy Pickett, who turns it over on the wing, and Florent for the Blues marks on the logo.
Well, he's got some guys that sent out forward.
He goes short for Elijah Hollands,
Look at
very
this.
wide out.
There's a lot of space out wide today,
Yep.
and Carlton seem to be more than happy to use it.
Opening 4 goals of the game, the way of the Blues. They lead by 25 points. Elijah Hollands kicks to the pocket. 3 Ds there, and they all spoil each other out of play. Throwing 25 around from the attacking goal here for the Blues. It has all been the Navy Blues. Half when you played for Carlton.
Yes.
Did you have the raised logo in felt on your chest?
Yep.
Yep. I'm glad they've brought it back. I love it.
Yep, and wear it too many times, but I do
How
have...
raised is it? How could you tell that, Ben?
It's a different. It's felt as well, but it's
not the
yeah.
the screen print.
It's not the stitched in. It's got a bit of elevation to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steele's hand pass almost chopped off by Jagger Smith. His kick was smothered though. Lindsay with a hand pass back to Jack Steele. Kick up the wing. It's awkward bouncing ball.
So in
front of
terms
Van Rooyen.
sorry there, Clinchy. In terms of the fashion, certainly Carlton winning.
They're winning.
That. Probably by the same margin, 4 goals to none.
Although I quite like the Superman appearance of the Melbourne jumper these days.
It's their best jumper. Yeah, I agree.
And the brighter of the Blues with the red at the top as it's punched out of play and a boundary throw in. Crowd has continued to build, so it looked like a good afternoon for footy. They did have the discount tickets, Benny, so I don't know if you saw that. For kids under 14, they could come for free. I think the cheapest GA ticket was under $20, so great move to try and get more fans to the footy.
The big news of the day around the grand final time. So the AFL announcing that for the next 2 years, locked in as a day game, 2:30 centre hoist to get it underway as Jagger Smith with the clearance up to half forward, and Mitch McGovern flying through the air takes a chest mark right on the arc of 50.
Do you know what that news is, Benny?
Well,
Good for football.
Terrible for talkback radio. Absolute break glass in case of emergency. It's 2 years.
what are we going to argue about now?
I don't know. State of Origin's already happened. Now this.
Now this. When will they listen to us?
Mitch McGovern to really drive home Carlton's advantage. His kick is there. And they are all over them, the Blues. The opening 5 goals of the game, 5-2-32, plays 1 measly behind. 26 and a half minutes into the first term. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Well, it's an avalanche, and good luck being a Melbourne defender at the moment. They just cannot get the ball out of their back 50. 75% of the game is in the forward half of the Blues. In the forward 50, it's 43%. So more, just under half the game is in the forward 50 of the Blues at the moment. 21 insides to 5. That's the story.
That is a mammoth number. 21 inside 50s to 5.
43% your forward 50.
Wow.
25 minutes in. It's not 7 minutes in. It's 25 minutes in. So it's just constant duress for the guys behind the ball, and the mids pushing back to help for the Ds at the moment. They cannot release with any freedom whatsoever. Carlton's pressure is immense.
Close eye on Melbourne's midfield here is gone. Pickett in there, Steele and also Windsor. In the middle of the ground, it's Cripps who gets it out for the Blues. Hewitt is copping one high, and we'll get a free kick just to the left of the centre circles. Carlton by 31 points as Hewitt looks out to the Shane stand side and has Cowan all on his own.
You talk again, Bob. They use the width. From the centre of the ground, they use the width.
There's so much room out there. And a lot of teams will say, oh, that's okay, we forced them wide. Well, that's all well and good in theory, but if they keep tic-tacking with their ball movement all the way through, well, that is not good enough, especially when you've leaked 21 inside 50s for the quarter.
The voice of Bob Murphy alongside Daniel Harford, Matt Clinch, Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Ainsworth's long kick into attack. Free kick Carlton's way in the pack. Mitch McGovern impeded in the eyes of the umpire. Would have been a pack of about 6 or 7 players in there.
Well, I don't know how they realise who's getting held, who's in the way, who's making a legitimate attempt in that pack. Now, it's about 12 or 13, that one, Matty.
I'm not sure how McGovern gets the free kick either, half.
It looked more like a Royal Rumble.
That's exactly right.
And now after the siren of quarter time, so a chance for the Blues to put on 6 goals in this opening quarter. As McGovern, having kicked the last goal of the match, can have 2 in the opening quarter. Out to the left, 45 metres out from home, Mitch McGovern, the defender, come forward, and it's Navy Blue to light at the MCG. Carlton fans of past and present would be enjoying the show here. A 17-day break after they just got over the line against the Tigers. One emphatic response, 37-point leaders at the first break. 6-2-38 to Melbourne, 1 behind, having had 22 inside 50s, the Blues, to the Demons, just 5. Mitch McGovern with 2 goals for Carlton. Individuals to Harry Mackay, Paddy Cripps, Jagger Smith and Taylor Byrne on debut. And it's the Blues who lead by 37 points. Earlier it was the West Coast Eagles by 2 points over Port Adelaide. So having only won 1 game last season, the Eagles now have 2 after their victory over North Melbourne last week. They booted 10 of the last 16 goals of the match after Port Adelaide led by 22 points at quarter time and 8 points at half time. They got out by 29 points in the second quarter. Great to have your company from the MCG. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Get your footy fix with ABC AFL Daily Podcast. Corbin Middlemass and Ben Cameron are joined by a cast of AFL legends to pull apart the biggest stories in Aussie rules. Search for the ABC AFL Daily Podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Pushing forward is Carroll, centering kick, great patience. And it's Jagger Smith who runs into space and looking for his first goal at AFL level. Directly in front, 45 metres out. Jagger Smith looking for the opening goal of the match. And that brings Carlton fans to life. A look to the here and now into the future. And every Carlton player comes to celebrate. Pitnet in front position against Gorn, palms it down to Cripps around the body. Second goal for the Blues. And the Carlton captain, with some close attention, able to finish in front of goal. Off balance, Ollie Hollands with an up and under kick. And in the end, it's the player in front, Byrne on Taboo, who protected the space and takes a mark. Veers out to the left, strikes it well. What a way to announce yourself. As the Carlton players come once more to celebrate a first goal. And the faithful are loving what they're seeing so far this afternoon. Ollie Hollands kicks out towards Evans. He has it in the middle of the MCG. The lead is on from Vic H and Mackay marks on his chest. Hey, Harry Mackay from out to the left, 45 metres out. He joins the growing list of goal kickers. And the Blues have put on the first 4 here at the MCG.
Jagger Smith with the clearance up to half forward, and Mitch McGovern flying through the air takes a chest mark right on the arc of 50. Mitch McGovern to really drive home Carlton's advantage. His kick is there, and they are all over them, the Blues.
As McGovern, having kicked the last goal of the match, can have 2 in the opening quarter. Out to the left, 45 metres out from home, Mitch McGovern, the defender, come forward, and it's Navy Blue to light at the MCG.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
If you're a Carlton fan, it's sweet listening. 6 goals scored in the first quarter. Melbourne just a behind. And the Blues lead by 37 points at quarter time here at the MCG. Macklich and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden's down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, with you on ABC Sport.
Yeah, look, it was a skittish start to the game, but it was Carlton who settled quickest, and then they pulverised Melbourne in the end. But it really started with their defensive structure, which is not always the thing that you would lean into first when it comes to the Carlton Footy Club. There was 4 things that caught my eye, and look, they're the usual suspects in terms of their big names, but it was more the physical presence of Jacob Wiedering. He started it with intercept marks on that defensive exit, and he was in his own way. He was really imposing, and he shut Melbourne down. Paddy Cripps' forward craft 50 goal, but then to just turn around and try and demoralise his tagger was a real moment of aggression and overt ownership of that combative space. Harry Mackay looks like a young colt. He's moving, he's leading freely, but the defensive pressure, he gave away a free kick, but it was an ownership of this space, and he wanted to be physical and tough, And then Mitch McGovern gets involved as well and kicks 2 goals that had real purpose to it. So it started off with a tactical win, I think, for Carlton, but then it was a real physical presence, and they just completely overwhelmed Melbourne all over the field half.
Well, they were excellent. Yeah, their physical pressure. Think about what's happened in these 2 teams in the last week. Melbourne coming back from Perth. Carlton having the bye, having a fresh run into this, ready to go, and they've used a lot of energy early, and they've brought exactly the right mindset into this game. It's been evident. Even their off-ball stuff's what's impressed me most. Their ability and desire to get the ball back when Melbourne have had it, or to stop Melbourne being able to chain possessions from one half of the ground to the other. That's what's really stood out for me. And then, more importantly, when they get it, as you said, their efficiency inside forward 50 has been pretty strong. 8 marks inside forward 50 for the quarter. 5 goals from stoppage.
Ooh.
In that first quarter, which is not usual. So that's hard to maintain.
Yeah.
That's an absolute belting. It's hard to maintain too. So if you're Stephen King, you're saying, well, hopefully that doesn't continue for the rest of the day. They get 20 goals from stoppage. That's not how the game works in the modern era. But Max has had a relatively limited influence. I'm keeping a real eye on how Mark Pitnet decides to play against him when they're head-to-head in that regard. But Melbourne's lack of composure and quality with their disposal really hurt them as well. So there's some areas they can clean up and get things back on terms. And they will know, like everyone in football, that if they can just be around about the mark at half-time, Carlton have had a history of falling away after half-time.
That's the thing, isn't it? In terms of amateur psychology, this is not familiar territory for Carlton. And if they start to think too much about how long to go, can we maintain this? They can get wobbly. So if Melbourne are able to hang in there and put their game together, they are a chance. But at the moment, it looks all Carlton's way.
Yep.
Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford with their assessment to quarter time. Second quarter underway. Gorn up against Pitnet. Spills down the way of Cripps. He's pushed out of it. Ball spills Melbourne's way. Langford trying to dive on top of the footy. Evans lays the tackle. Eventually it comes clear. Sparrow knocks it out into the path of Sharp. He's tackled by Cripps, who's playing like a man possessed this afternoon, and will win a free kick for holding the ball. Sharp had a chance to try and get it clear, although Cripps had an arm pin, so not really much of a chance. So deemed holding it. Zach Williams gets the hand pass, kicks up inside the 50. Mackay can't take the mark. Burn the crummer. Hand pass away to Elijah Hollands around the body. Curls it from right to left. The Blues are on fire at the G. 7 unanswered goals to start the match. And they lead by 43 points. 7-2-44 to Melbourne, 1 behind. And I know you're saying we've been here before, Bob. They did kick 6 goals to 3 against the Tigers back in round 1. This does feel a little different, though.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? We love a redemption story in footy, and we love to see one of the great halfback flankers in Zach Williams back to where he knows best, and that is at the halfback flank. And Paddy Cripps with another brutal moment of physicality. We know he's done it for a long, long time, but there's something in Paddy Cripps today that there's a little bit of extra to it. He really wants to make his presence felt out there. Zach Williams streaming through. I like what that adds to Carlton's ball flow at the moment.
Elijah Hollands had his finger up before he kicked it, I reckon.
Neither ruck decisive out of the middle. Steele ends up with the footy, coughs it up though. Williams, the man Bob's been praising, gets rid of it to Pitnet.
It's high octane, this.
To Walsh. Loops a handball back to Evans. He moves it forward to Hayward. High half forward for the Blues. Shocking kick inside 50. And there to mark Howes defensively for Melbourne.
They are so amped. Everyone around the field, the way they run, they are going at 100%, all of them.
Moves it on to Tom McDonald and Jai Cully on the left back flank.
Cully sends it up the wing. Brody Myercheck led up close to the boundary line. Carlton fans thought he might have been the wrong side of it. He wants to come inboard where he spotted Cozzy Pickett's free. Jacob Van Rooyen, the only player on the field yet to touch the ball. Was Pickett trying to send Melbourne deep into attack. He's the deepest target here, won't get to him. Cross tried to knock it out of the hands of Wiedering, but Wiedering had enough of it to be paid the mark.
That's not a good policy. Long to the area where Jacob Wiedering's patrolling. They've got to avoid him in those scenarios. They can find a shorter target and get over him pretty quickly if they do that properly.
Wiedering kicks out to Cowan, who marks in the back pocket for the Blues. They lead by 43 points up the wing. Trying to fly in from the side. Kemp can't take the mark. Hewitt goes to work at ground level. Hand pass to turnover straight to Cully of Melbourne. Hand pass to Chandler. Out wide to half forward. Van Rooyen takes the mark in front of Wiedering this time. Wants to try and move it quickly. Langford's gone to the goal square. Great kick. Can't hang on to the mark though. Oh, he presented beautifully, got hands to it, just couldn't complete the mark, and he's probably on line as well, but Frankie Evans got there for some desperate defending.
Florent to take the kick in, twirling the Sherrin in the shadows of the stands at the city end of the ground.
He headbutted it. Just saying the replay. It's hit his head.
Would have been a goal in the round ball world game. Header through the major opening, but not to be here. On the wing, the Blues. Walsh somehow gets a kick away while he's on his backside. Goes to Hayward, who's driven into the turf. A ball up. The other big story of the day, Tristan Sherry referred directly to the tribunal, so Daniel Harford and I will pick that apart on ABC AFL Daily. Get that wherever you get your pods. It'll be ready for you tomorrow morning for your commute to work. Sharp fighting after the footy, half forward here for the D's. The umpire crosses himself. He'll ball it up on the digits of 50.
Looking forward to that conversation, Benny.
Smearing a bit of blood in Andy McGrath's face last night.
Hit now one down the tap against Gawn. Non-officiating umpire has blown the whistle. Free kick going the Melbourne captain's way. Max Gawn in game 250. They need someone to try and give them a bit of a spark, and Gawn has pointed towards the big sticks, Babe Ruth style, Bob.
I like this.
He has worked on this part of his game, but he's going to have to kick every bit of 55 metres, so unless it's a set play.
Anytime Babe Ruth gets a mention is a good day.
Sultan swat him, Max.
The great Bambino.
He's carried the Demons on his shoulders for so long, a premiership captain. Veers out to the right, kicks it high, but it's not accurate. It's offline to the left. Van Rooyen nudged underneath and off the hands of Young. It goes out of play. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Robin Greensborough says, so glad Mitch McGovern has returned to the forward line. Has more of an impact and less when things go wrong.
I quite like that from Rob. I saw that at the start of the season. I thought, okay, let's see how this goes. But I think he is a really big presence in there. He's created a different dynamic in the forward half for the Blues.
Van Rooyen hooks it down for Sparrow, but no room to work.
They had to find someone when Charlie left, another good size key.
Back to the future. Mitch McGovern forward, Zach Williams back.
Here we go.
See where I'm going with that half?
I can see.
Van Rooyen taps it down, but it bounces to Young. Clears for the Blues to centre half back. Kemp gathers. Misses Elijah Hollins with the handball. Good enough to recover. Back to Williams, who gives it to Walsh. Steps around Jouth, kicks out wide, and they are in space here, the Blues. Hayward takes it, weighs up his options, kicks poorly.
It was a bad forward pattern for the guys running forward of the ball there for the Blues, because they were running back into numbers from the D's who had held their shape a bit. Somebody had to come back towards him.
Oh, we've lamented the death of the tick lead, and once again half.
Jack Gunster would have marked that ball.
Cross cannon into Francis Evans. The Cowan who kicks inside 50. Up the effort in the end by Kemp. Can't take the mark, and here's McGovern on cue. Tackled, brought down almost. Lever around the bootlaces. Hand pass to Mackay in the pocket. Tackle by Howes. Tries to hand pass over his shoulder and bounces out of play as Langford takes it over the line. Matt in Canberra's listening to us. Bob Murphy in fine form today. Benny, it's a ball up. We don't need a rebrand. And Andrew loving the D's jumper. If you can't be good, at least look good.
Yeah, I'm with you, Andrew.
Mark Murphy labelled it the centre hoist on AFL Monday, on Monday nights, when we tried to come up with a new name. So we don't have the bounce down anymore. What do we? The countdown to the bounce.
Basketball's got the tip off. We can't take that as Florent flies on goal. Misses out to the left.
I think we need to workshop hoist a bit.
Yeah, we can't have the countdown to the ball up.
With respect to Murph. That's not staying.
Carlton by 42 points after that shot out on the full. Demons have been inside 50 only on 9 occasions. Carlton 26 as Lever long out of defence. Myercheck presents in front, can't take the mark. Clears to the back for Melbourne. Langford tries to fire a hand pass forward. It may work. Chandler runs onto it. Hand pass to Steele. Member side cuts back around Cowan. Needs support. Hand pass to Sparrow. Hand pass forward to Chandler. Back to Steele. The former St Kilda captain. High inside 50. Looking for Cross. Used his body well. Tries to claim the mark. Umpire says no, it hit the turf, and Dean providing the pressure once the ball hit the ground.
Good call by the umpire.
Definitely.
Brett Rosebery, I believe.
Yep, Carlton by 42 points. Cripps with the clearing kick. Beyond their defensive arc, Jouth goes up, hands to it, free kick. Umpires Rosebery, Wetton, Toner and Martin Roger in charge of this fixture. Carlton with the opening 7 and only 7 goals of the game.
Did you mention 2 people there?
Roger.
Be the umpire for my 2 first names team later in the year as the kick goes into the pocket, and Myercheck just spills an easy mark. cruised into it and just fumbled it out of play, and that's been the story of the day for the D's. Carlton by 42.
That's Ben Cameron on Matt Clinch, Lauren Borden down the boundary, Bob Murphy, Daniel Harford with you for Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. From the throw-in, Cowan in the back pocket, under pressure, hand pass to Walsh, nowhere to go as Steele lays the tackle.
This is the first time we've seen. Sorry, Matty. This is the first time we've seen Melbourne have any time in their forward 50 really so far in this game. So all of a sudden it does put a bit of pressure on the Blues to find a way out of here. So they've got to be really strong here, the D's.
Van Ryan doing the ruck work against Pitnet, comes down to the front. No, Cowan to Hewitt, hand pass over the top to Walsh. Even getting around Cosy Pickett as he kicks out of defence. Up to the wing, Lever's well set, can't take the mark against Kem. Mackay, slick, hand pass to Elijah Hollands, they're on now. Hand pass to Ainsworth, one way then the other. A pirouette in the middle of the MCG. Cripps tackled, gets a kick away despite being tackled by Chandler. Tom McDonald one way, Byrne the other onto Boo. Byrne did well, made a contest. The ball stuck at the 50, and they'll love that from the debutant. He kicked a goal in his first quarter and then made an important contest on half forward. Carlton by 42.
That was good from the young fella.
Up it goes, Hudson O'Keefe hooking it down onto it quickly though, Sparrow. He just squeezes a kick and Latrell Pickett gathers it. Now the D's bouncing off halfback.
Wow.
Lindsay to Jath who drops it. Allows in the Blues, McGovern. Forward handball to Hewitt inside 50. He turns it over, Latrell Pickett pinches it. And kicks the D's to right halfback. Chandler lifts the kick over the top to Tolstrup. Down the wing in the shadows, onto Jaff.
Jaff looks up towards 50. Sharp's the shortest of the options. Great kick in the end. Now he swings onto his right. He sends it up towards full forward. Cross one direction. Cully from the other. They crash the pack. Langdon stayed at ground level. He hand passes back towards Cosy Pickett. Sliding over, lost his footwork. And it's gathered by Ollie Hollands. Hand pass to brother Elijah Hollands. And to Byrne in the back pocket. Tries to chisel a kick to half back over Ainsworth's head. McGovern gathers for the Blues though. They've got options aplenty. Gets out to Ollie Hollands.
That's that relief player lateral to the contest. They've used that a lot today, the Blues.
Double Dutch.
Yep. Oh, very good from you, Bob. Hollands to Hollands and then Kemp just poking it on to the run of Ainsworth. Wide out, high half forward for a leading Mackay. He's on the end of it. 55 out from goal. Attacking the punt road end in this second term. Pokes it for Walsh. Overshoots him through the hands of McGovern. And Petty cleans it up. D's 30 out from their defensive goal. Chandler to the run of Sharp to Jath. Beyond the defensive arc. Back to Sharp. Loops a handball infield.
They're on here if they
now
can get
Sparrow to Cully. They've worked their way through here, the D's. Kicks inside 50. Cosy Pickett. Palms off Florent. Protects the drop and marks. 25 out. 5 in from the boundary line.
Well, it might come off because Cosy Pickett's good enough. But Cully had another 30 metres to run there and would have drawn another defender, possibly Cosy Pickett's defender, and been able to spot that up 10 metres out and directly in front of goal. They're just making decisions. They put themselves under pressure at the moment, the D's.
Had the 3 Brownlow votes in the last meeting between these two teams. Kicked 5 goals on that occasion. Cosy Pickett. He goes with the banana and misses narrow. So 3 behinds for Melbourne. 12 minutes into this second term. 7-2-44 Carlton. But he's 3 behinds. 41 points is the difference.
Well, there's another decision that makes it harder for him. Why would you kick a banana from there?
I feel like we sat in this same spot 2 weeks ago and watched him kick a left foot snap from the same spot.
Yes.
He's changed it up.
Ollie Holland kicking in for Carlton into the middle of the ground. Free kick advantage taken. Jagger Smith long towards Kemp. Caught behind, had to make the spoil. Brings it down against Lever. Sliding in Tom McDonald. McGovern over, in fact, it is him with McGovern over the top.
So Brady Kemp's had 5 disposals. But I tell you what, he has competed enormously in contest in the air today. He's created a lot of ground balls for his mids and his high half forwards to get to work with. It's been very impressive.
Blues by 41 points. Gorn out of the ruck up to the wing. And Louis Young gave it straight over to Chandler. They almost come undone. Although the Blues through some pressure from Florent. That's on a great kick though across half back. Sets Carroll a challenge. He runs onto it. Hand pass back to Zach Williams and a bit more composure as he finds Ollie Hollands across half back. Carlton by 41.
Moves it on to Smith. And swing a handball back to Ollie Hollands. And it's time to assess his options. Kicks around the wing. Broken up there by the D's. Lindsay doing well, but Walsh onto it for Carlton. 1-2 with Frankie Evans. Gets it back, Walsh. Tight ropes the boundary line. Kicks inside 50. And Kemp marks on his chest 45 metres out. Very tight angle. 5 in from the boundary line.
And who's the deepest pair for Carlton and Melbourne at the moment? O'Keefe and Gawn. So this is a clear strategy to get Max out of the way. And it's working a treat. He hasn't had any influence in the air, really.
Really good coaching, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good plan.
And Daniel Harford is all over it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Max makes an adjustment at some point. I mean, this game is, if it's not already, it is getting out of control and out of reach. And Max may just have to chance his arm a little bit more to test them out the other way and see if he can influence on the scoreboard.
Brody Kemp with a difficult shot.
Yuck.
And that is very narrow, out of bounds on the full. So Carlton by 41 points. Stephen King told the story that after his first up win, had 180 text messages. After the loss, didn't even get one from his mum. Did you experience that as a coach, Half? Phone would blow up after a win?
No
Not
one
so
hangs
much.
out with losers, mate.
Only tickets, isn't it, Bob? Once the team's going well, everyone wants to join a winning group. Langford out of defence, hand pass to Lever, swings it out to Petty. He takes the mark at right half back. Carlton by 41 points, 7 goals to 3 behinds. So we tick past 14 minutes gone in the second quarter. The Demons through Tom McDonald, up to Cozzy Pickett. Tries to chisel a precise pass up to Cully, but never got to him. Intercepting mark taken by Chesser. Blues take back possession to Jagger Smith, who turns inboard, spots Cripps.
Cozzy's going at 10% efficiency disposal at the moment. 10%.
10%.
1 out of his 10 is efficient.
Maths is not my strong suit, but that ain't going to work. Ainsworth marks in the middle of the ground. Swings it out to Ollie Hollands, who's had that wing on the Shane Warne stand side all to his own. Takes a bounce, challenges someone to run towards him. Langford does, opens up the kick over the top. Carroll marks, runs towards 50, looks into the pocket, down low for Mackay on the bounce. He can't gather. Tom McDonald shoves him out of it. Hand pass back to Salem, hemmed against the boundary. He was over as he got his kick away. So it'll come back as a throw in up against the right behind post. Punt Road end of the MCG where the Blues are heading. They lead by 41 points.
So Hollands again on that outside wing, that lateral release target. So Melbourne have clearly trying to lock out the corridor, but they're getting absolutely mown on the open side wherever the ball is. So they're going to have to start to defending the width a bit here and open their game up through the middle.
Gawn slaps it away, onto it Cripps on his backside, getting a handball out. Now Langford flicks a handball out, but the Blues win it through Hewitt. Handball's back into the mark, tackled quickly Frankie Evans. And a ball up, 47 out from the attacking goal here for the Blues. 21 inside 50s to 5 at quarter time. It has just been all Carlton. And they've got it again. Jagger Smith poking it to a contest. Lever spoils it away, out of play.
It's 11-8 in the second term as well.
I think there would have been a lot of Melbourne supporters arriving at the game today worried about the Demons' speed on the outside, but I mean, Walsh we know about, but Hollands, Zach Williams back at half-back, Smith as well. It's just added a different element to this game that maybe Melbourne weren't quite expecting.
Blues deep in attack. O'Keefe gets it down to Hewitt, who fires on goal and misses to the right-hand side. A 42-point lead the way of Carlton at the 16-minute mark of the second quarter. It's also some who wrote off the demise of the two-time Brownlow medalist Paddy Cripps, who, as you said, Bob, has started on fire. He's had a lazy 7 clearances.
Yeah, there was a bit of discussion about the speed of the game with the new rules and whether that would be the end of Paddy Cripps, who's not the most fleet of footers. Pickett exits to the wing for Chandler. His kick too strong, and Young marks for Carlton. Oh, but he gave away a free kick. So Langdon to receive it.
So now Max is pushing forward, Bob, to your point.
Langdon pokes it for Cozzy Pickett. Takes it, veers out, looks inside 50. Well weighted for Tolstrup. Broken up by Hewitt. Trying to burst through his Windsor, but the Blues are there. They turn it over though. Williams straight out towards Chandler. And now Cozzy Pickett has to pursue it in the pocket. Out to Fredge, tackled. Gets rid of it to Langford. Dribbles a kick. Might work out for Myercheck. Bounces off a bump. Nowhere to go. Myercheck cuts back, kicks infield. Did it go to 15? No, Windsor's tackled. Taken to ground by Dean. And Carlton, their defence is bend, not break at the moment. It is holding up beautifully. Carlton by 42. 17 played in the second.
Thrown up, Jagger Smith. Off hands, gathers first. Hand pass to Frankie Evans. Had to wear the tackle in the end from Kate Chandler. And a ball up at left half forward for the Demons. Still searching for their first goal at the 17.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Gawn takes it himself, tries to do it all himself. His kick is partially smothered. Spills back to Cozzy Pickett, vacant goal square. His shot is offline to the right-hand side. And Carroll And Florent racing back, see it bounce out of play in the right forward pocket for Melbourne.
This should be an opportunity for the Melbourne Footy Club. They haven't kicked a goal yet. We've got Latrell Pickett down there. We've got Cozzy Pickett, Bailey Fritsch we know about. They've got quality in the ruck, obviously, in Max.
On wrestling here with O'Keefe. Gathers, hand pass to Cully. Links up, hand pass to Van Rooyen. Around the body. Misses to the left-hand side. That's 4 behinds for the Demons. To Carlton 7-3-45. The Dockers put on 7 of the first 8 goals last week in Perth. Melbourne responded with 4 goals to 2 in the second quarter. But needless to say, Stephen King knows he's alive and at the moment trying to find his team's first goal.
I mean, they're a long way out of it at the moment. Oh, that is obvious. But if they can start to generate forward 50 stoppages, it is a bit of an opportunity for them.
Well, McGovern with an enormous fly over the pack. Doesn't come down with the footy. Melbourne do through Tolstrup. Bereft at first. Feeds a handball forward to Cully. Cully kicks inside 50. Chopped off by Hewitt. Bouncing ball. Chandler onto it. Swings it on the left. Kicks towards full forward. Going back Myercheck. Punched away by Young. Did really well. Fritsch gathers though. Centering ball onto the chest of Latrell Pickett, who drops it. He dropped it cold. Watermelon seeds all over him. And a ball up. 25 out from the attacking goal for the Demons. They can't help themselves at the moment. Carlton by 41.
You got to get onto the seedless stuff, Benny.
Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport. Van Rooyen taps it down, but Dean clears for the Blues like his old man used to, into the middle of the ground, but it's underneath at Kemp, and Jake Lever takes the mark.
So McGovern come off too after that big fly too. Get Loz onto that.
Lever reloads inside 50. Van Rooyen flew in front, but it gets to the back, and Myercheck this time hangs on to it. He's one who's had a couple of chances with the cymbals, couldn't hang on, and he's directly in front now, 25 metres out.
And Jath too.
Yeah, he looks
coming
a bit
off.
sore, coming off.
So after their first up win over St Kilda on the road against the Dockers last week, a few of the Demons players being tested physically, and Brodie Myercheck, the former Pie, trying to get them going. At the 20-minute mark of the second quarter, Myercheck comes in and he misses.
Oh, wow.
To the left-hand side. 33 years of age, hoping to bring that experience in his 162nd game. And the 5-time leading goal kicker for the Magpies misses to the left. It's the Blues by 40 points. Melbourne 5 behinds.
Lauren Borden.
Yeah, Mitch McGovern's still sitting on the bench. He's got a doctor sitting next to him and he's chatting away to him. It's actually Jack who there might be some more concerns for him. He's just gone down into the rooms and looks to be, a little bit of sore and in a little bit of trouble.
Max Gorn with the intercept mark on the wing. Trying to work his way into game 250.
Oh, jeez.
Gorn sets it up, looking for a marker, but only Chesser there. Drops the chest mark. And at ground level, Langdon applying the tackle on his Blues opponent. And a ball up.
I say this with the deepest respect for Max Gorn, but that was a genuinely strange kick, an option. I'm not sure what he was thinking there.
Taps it down, Gorn in the ball up at centre half forward.
It was a cross ground, it was a shallow entry, and it was to a 3-on-1 in favour of Carlton.
That side of that was pretty good.
Pitnet and Gorn again. A little bit of volleyball played. Walsh wins it. Gets it off to Jagger Smith, who turns it over with a kick. Dee's ball now. Howes away towards Sparrow. Kick charge down by Dean. Knocks it into the pocket for the Blues. That's their back pocket. Onto it, Florent. He's tackled. And a ball up, 40 out from the attacking goal for the Demons. They're yet to kick one. Time on in the second. Carlton by 40 points. They've booted 7 of their own, the Blues.
How big's the raspberry going to be when they finally kick one?
Wonder whether Stephen King, absolutely gives them a spray at half-time. How does he try and motivate a young group? Howes tackled by Ollie Holland and taken over the boundary line.
He doesn't seem like a spray coach, Stephen King. The boys say that he's very calm and level. So
they all say that when things are going well.
It just comes out, you reckon, half?
Sometimes it just comes out.
Coaches,
intense beasts.
All coaches, they get a long fuse until they don't.
Carlton by 40 points, thrown in. Gorn wins down the tap. Tholstrup trying to cleverly get a hand pass to Windsor. Turns it over though. Pitnet slaps it away. Gorn regathers it for Melbourne. Hand pass away to Howes, who breaks a tackle. Turns on his right. Kicks towards Fritsch. 3-on-1 in the end. Dean makes the spoiler. Clearing kick straight to Sparrow, who takes the mark. Just in the end, Louis Young panicked, threw it onto his boot, kicked it straight to the opportunist Melbourne midfielder / small forward who marks on his chest. He's just inside 50, but Tom Sparrow gets a chance to try and be the player to break the duck.
Do you know one of the most underrated sort of sprays is the sarcastic one?
Yeah.
And I think Stephen King, well, I don't think, I know. That would be his native tongue. He could give a sermon with that style, I think.
45 goals to Tom Sparrow throughout his career. He comes in and fires on goal and drifts from left to right and just the wrong side of the right goal post. So the quest continues. 6 behinds for Melbourne. Carlton 7-3-45. The Demons have had 17 to 10 inside 50s in this second quarter.
The poster boy for that recent times, Adam Kingsley, in that little spray. Stupid bloody me. Thinks it's going to be different.
That was the piece de resistance of that spray.
I think you've learned.
Louis Young kicking to a contest on the wing, and Gawn doing the roving off the hands of the pack. Half forward here for the D's, and kept in there by Sparrow, doing really well. Might have come off the boot of Florent, it did. So that's a lasso free kick. Carlton by 39, but Melbourne doing a little bit of attacking at the moment. Free kick to be taken by Windsor. Windsor goes towards full forward, pack forms, and Wiedering, golden fist, sends it into row G. Throwing coming, 5 around from the behind post. 24 played, second term. Carlton by 39. Sunday footy on ABC Sports.
So 18 to 10 inside 50s this quarter for Melbourne.
Thrown in, Gawn tries to slap it to the back. Carlton well set though. Young gets the hand pass. Clearing kick to half back. Mackay's trying to wrestle, clears him. Petty can't gather. Trying to knock it on Hayward. Now has another go at it. Does tap it on to Mackay. Around his body. It's wide of Kemp. Getting back. Lever will get there first. Breaks the effort of Kemp for the tackle. Looks up inside 50. Fridge the target over his head. Decided not to fly. And Dean juggles the mark for the Blues.
Impresses me, this kid. His work off ball to get involved, his effort to get involved in contests.
Oh.
It's terrific. His left foot's not great at times.
On cue, Ashank as he was given praise from half and turns it over. Tholstrup marks, hand pass to the runner Windsor, 55 out into the pocket, Fritsch the target. Dean's there once more and enough pressure to see the ball out of play in the right forward pocket for the Demons. Carlton by 39 points, 7-3-45 to Melbourne, 6 behinds, 25 minutes gone, second quarter.
Shield final hanging in the balance. Victoria 3 for 46, chasing 196 to win. Oh, of course, we've got a broadcast of that. You can find it on ABC Listen. Tolstrup roving from the ball end, gives it away to Lindsay, who chips a kick, and it's a good one for Langford. 35 out, slight angle left of centre.
So that's the first real sign of composure. Ball in hand around the arc or inside 50 for the D's all day. Really nice work. I mean, they've dominated territory, 20 to 10 inside 50s for the quarter. It's quite something. It's quite a flip on what we saw in the first term. 71% of the games in their forward half. This quarter, 42% in their forward 50. So they're getting looks. So that's what Stephen King's going to be pulling on at half time.
Harvey Langford, his drop punt is tugged, but it's there. He sneaks it through. Finally, Melbourne have found the major opening, and they're on the board. They avoid a goalless half. 7-3-45 Carlton. Melbourne 1-6-12. 26 minutes into the second. 89 seconds away from half-time. Carlton by 33 points. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Well, that's the type of angle change that can upset opposition. That was Xavier Lindsay there, who wins the ball, and instead of going back down the same line that they've been trying to all of this second quarter with minimal result, he just has the composure and the creativity to go, no, I'll change angles, finds a teammate on that 45-degree and gets the Carlton defence completely offside. That's as opposed to Max's attempt earlier in the quarter where he went AWOL, but there is an argument to change the angles to give yourself better opportunities.
Back in the middle of the ground, the Blues gather from half-back. Zach Williams' hand pass over the head of Sam Walsh. He gets back first, though. Hand pass to Carroll. Back to Walsh. Left half forward. Looks up inside 50. Mackay the target. Lever comes in. Can't offer support against Tom McDonald. And Harry stands tall and pulls in the mark in the left forward pocket.
Tom McDonald's all at sea there.
Hang on.
Well, what's happened here?
A free kick off the ball. These ones always intrigue me, given that Mackay took the mark. And it's going to go the way of Mitch McGovern. So, free kick before that, I assume. So, McGovern with a chance to boot his third. We'll get a look here on the camera angle behind the goals where Petty was just holding on to McGovern's arm, prevented him from leading.
It's probably a better result for the Blues, I think.
Maybe. Let's see.
The Harry narrow side.
Melbourne with 1-5 in this second quarter. The Blues with a chance to boot their second. Mitch McGovern misses to the right after half's wise words. 34-point lead Carlton's way. Loz Borden on the boundary.
Just an update on Jath, who went down into the rooms. The doctor has come out, but Jath hasn't. He's got a calf injury. So Melbourne haven't confirmed whether he's out of the game just yet, but definitely a calf for him, for Jath, who's still in the rooms for Melbourne.
Lindsay kicks off the back flank up to the wing and offhands out of play. So a throw in beneath the worn grandstand on that southern side of the ground.
Unless it's a cramp, that'd be Jath done. He looked pretty sore.
Thrown on the worn wing, both rucks with hands on it. Neither decisive. Pitnet trying to follow up. Cully gets it after it, spits out, kicks inside 50 for the D's. Back there, Kemp. Marks 40 out from the Blues goal.
Now the entries from that range have to be totally redesigned at half-time. They shouldn't be allowed to kick the ball from 90 metres out, 40, just forward to centre. They shouldn't be able to kick the ball long inside their forward 50. It's not working.
Kemp to Williams, long up to the wing for Mackay, right on the half-time siren. So the goal kickers for Carlton, 2 to McGovern, singles to Elijah Hollins and Taylor Byrne on debut. His first kick in league footy. Smith, Cripps and Mackay with singles. The only goal kicker for Melbourne is Harvey Langford. Carlton booted the first 7. Langford with the D's only goal, the last in the first half. So 7-4-46, plays 1-6-12. Carlton lead by 34 points at the main break.
The Blues led by 37 at quarter time. They lead by 34 at the main break, as Ben said. Earlier it was Port Adelaide who booted the first 4 goals of the game, got out by 29 points in the second quarter before the Eagles came storming home with 10 of the last 16 goals of the match. They eventually won by 2 points. Job Shanahan with a great mark across half-back. The Eagles 13-14-92 to Port Adelaide 13-12-90. The Eagles won just 1 game last season. They have 2 before round 3 is completed. The thoughts of Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford here at the MCG. It's the Blues by 34 points.
Well, I think in the end, Bob, at half-time, Stephen King's clearly got some work to do, but I reckon there's enough in that last 15 minutes to suggest that they have been able to just quell the wave of Carlton, the assault that they gave them in that first quarter and a half, and they get the game back on terms into a more neutral arm wrestle position, almost to the fact where they had advantage in that arm wrestle with the way they were able to get the ball inside their forward 50 forward half. Composure, class, system going in is going to be the problem. And then you're worried about the clearances. You almost got to keep the game in motion at the moment. It's 21-13 in favour of Carlton. Paddy Cripps has had 10 clearances. Sorry, that was 21-13 just for... That's right, yeah, for the half.
Yep.
Paddy Cripps, sorry, he's had 7 of those. So he's a concern around the contest. But if you can't win that, you've got to start to nullify that and create more secondary stoppages, get more numbers around the contest. The problem with that is, when they're getting the ball centre forward, they're just bombing the ball into extra number from the Blues all day long. So if you're going to have extra number congest the contest, you've got to be able to work the ball laterally a little bit shorter to create the numbers to get back in, time for them to get back in and represent forward of the ball. So a few things to tweak for Stephen King. If I'm Michael Voss, I'm clearly very happy with the way the first half has gone, but I'm a bit worried about that last 10 minutes.
They got it half right, didn't they, Melbourne? And that's not a half pun. They did get it. They got it 50% right in terms of they were able to actually start getting their hands on the ball and winning enough of the footy to generate those inside 50s and dominated inside 50s. Were never able to put Carlton under any real sort of pressure where they looked uncomfortable down there, the Blues. The Blues' appetite didn't seem to drop off at all, but I felt like Melbourne were just able to find themselves with enough of the footy. Can they adjust again to still get enough of the footy and still generate those numbers of inside 50, but to change angles, have a few different options, and then just to be able to finish their work? Brody Myercheck and a few others, just to not be able to finish it off, it kills any sort of momentum you're trying to build. So not without a chance, and especially with Carlton's history, they can get wobbly if you get on a bit of a run, but at the moment, Carlton looks to have this one pretty well sewn up.
Yeah, Trell Pick, your man Benny, Trell Pickett marks that ball 20 metres out directly in front. Myercheck kicks the one directly in front. All of a sudden, there is some scoreboard pressure on, and they're starting to see the ascendancy and momentum being taken away from Carlton and back to Melbourne, and who knows what that does psychologically through the second half of this game. But yeah, a lot to like about Carlton. Their energy was off the charts early. I'd be surprised if they can maintain that, but they had really good system and ball use. They defended with great urgency, but also attacked with a bit of precision, which we haven't seen from them too often either. So that was a really positive thing for them at half-time.
The Blues coming off a 17-day break after their last match, while for Melbourne they make the trek back from Perth. It's the Blues who lead by 34 points at half-time. On the other side of the ABC News, we'll bring you the other sporting news from around the world and around the country. Victoria needing 146 runs for victory. They're 3 for 50 after South Australia posted 258. And some good news, Oscar Piastri has started in the Formula 1 and he's taken the lead. So we will keep across that as well. So some upside there for Oscar, who has had a challenging start, but the Japanese Grand Prix is underway. We'll bring you all the details there. But for the moment, let's bring you the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
WA's Emergency Services Minister Paul Papalia says crews are starting to formally assess the damage in Exmouth.
We've had damage assessment teams out on the ground yesterday and they can now confirm that there are 4 structures in Exmouth that have been destroyed, 7 have severe damage, 12 have moderate damage and 8 have slight damage. But these numbers are expected to increase today as more assessments are completed.
Yemen's Houthi rebel group is vowing to continue missile attacks on Israel as the war on Iran, launched by the US and Israel, threatens to escalate further. The Houthis' involvement could also have serious consequences for Saudi Arabia's oil trade, as the BBC's Joe Imwood explains.
Saudi Arabia normally exports its oil through the Strait of Hormuz. That has been shut by the Iranians. To counter that, they've started pumping their oil in a pipeline across the country and exporting it down through the Red Sea. The Houthis have the capability to effectively shut or to try and blockade the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. If they do that, Saudi Arabia will lose a huge amount of its capacity to export oil to Asia, to the Far East, and that will have huge economic consequences. It might make what we're seeing so far, which is very serious, pale into insignificance.
Reports of fuel thefts are increasing across Victoria as the Middle East crisis drives up fuel costs and puts increased pressure on suppliers. There are currently 101 service stations across the state without diesel and 41 stations are out of petrol. The price for diesel is now well over $3 per litre. The Victorian Premier, Jacinta Allen, has confirmed there has been an increase in fuel thefts from properties, as well as service station drive-offs.
I do understand, though, it's coming at a time when households were already feeling under a lot of pressure. It remains illegal behaviour and police always investigate and follow through these instances where they are being reported.
The Greens are calling on the South Australian Government to make public transport free for the month of April to relieve households from surging fuel prices amid supply shocks in the Middle East. Public transport in Tasmania will be free for 3 months, while Victoria's Metropolitan and V-Line fares will be waived for at least the month of April. Greens leader Robert Sims says reducing demand for fuel in Adelaide will help regional areas that rely on driving.
We know in some of those communities, people don't always have the option of using public transport. Making it free and encouraging people to use public transport when they can do so will then free up some of the fuel supply for regional areas too. So this is just a win-win.
South Australian Government spokesman Blair Boyer says they're watching the situation closely.
We are committed to cost of living relief. We're just making decisions about how and where we offer it, and we will watch what other states do closely and make decisions based around that.
A number of people have been seriously injured after a car struck a number of pedestrians in the British city of Derby. Police arrested a man in his 30s after the incident. They say there's no ongoing risk to the public. However, drivers are still being advised to avoid the city centre of Derby. To sport, and Socceroos defender Jordy Boss says that Tuesday's FIFA Series game against Curacao is an opportunity to build momentum in the lead-up to the World Cup. The Netherlands-based player scored the Socceroos' only goal in its 1-0 win over Cameroon in Sydney on Friday. Boss says that Australia needs to stick to its strengths against Curacao, which has also qualified for the World Cup.
I think we just have to, play our game and get the result because, obviously it's our last game before we head to the US. So, just get the result and get some momentum leading into the World Cup.
And in AFL, the West Coast Eagles have made it back-to-back victories after pipping Port Adelaide 92-90. The final score 13-14 to 13-12 at Adelaide Oval. ABC News.
Who will win the AI race? Has gambling become our national sport?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Zach Williams gets the hand pass, kicks up inside the 50. Mackay can't take the mark, Burn the crummer. Hand pass away to Elijah Hollands around the body. Curls it from right to left. The Blues are on fire at the G. 7 unanswered goals to start the match.
Tolstrup roving from the ball in, gives it away to Lindsay, who chips a kick, and it's a good one for Langford. 35 out, slight angle left of centre. Harvey Langford, his drop punt is tugged, but it's there. He sneaks it through. Finally, Melbourne have found the major opening, and they're on the board.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Half-time at the MCG, it's the Blues who lead Melbourne by 34 points, 7-4-46 to the Demons 1-6-12. Mitch McGovern has a couple of goals for the Blues, while the Demons finally scored their first goal of the match at the 25-minute mark of the opening quarter through Harvey Langford. Matt Lynch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden's down on the boundary. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford are your experts on ABC Sport. Earlier, it was the West Coast Eagles who recorded a come-from-behind victory over Port Adelaide by 2 points. The Eagles 13-14-92 to Port Adelaide 13-12-90. The Power kicked a goal with about 2 minutes to go, and it was a 2-point ball game, and then Job Shanahan took a great mark for the Eagles across half-back. Former Crow, Harry Schomburg, played his first game for the Eagles, and he caught up with the ABC Sport team post-game and was asked about how he felt to get a win in his first game as an Eagle.
No, it's an absolute privilege to come back here to Adelaide Oval and play for the West Coast Eagles. So obviously got given a second chance by the club, and very privileged to be able to put on the jumper for the first time, and even better to get the win. So against the arch rivals.
Harry, it's Aaron Bryans here. Did you know the words to the song?
Had no idea, mate. I was sort of just like listening and sort of saying a few hit words here and there, but I was trying to get the Gatorade out of my eyes, to be honest. It was stinging, but no, I'll have to listen to the song on Spotify or something and learn the words, hopefully. So.
I'm pretty sure it's just "We're Flying High" over and over again. You'll be fine. Last question before we let you go. So you were with Adelaide during the Matty Nix rebuild, and now you're with West Coast as they kind of come out of a really dark place. Can you see similarities in how Adelaide got out of a tough spot to where West Coast is now headed to?
Absolutely. I think I've probably noticed that in the pre-season. And the one thing I will say, there's a lot more young talent here at West Coast already. So we've obviously got a few of those younger boys coming through, and it's just going to come down to your effort, playing more games together and playing your role. Obviously, you can get into a few players, you get players through the draft, through the trade and stuff, but I reckon we got most of our talent already here. We just got to play more games together and bring 100% at every game, and I see this future very bright in the next couple of years.
Love the attitude, Harry, and you've slotted in perfectly. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Harry Schomburg with Aaron Bryans and the ABC Sport team. Just a reminder, if the game you're looking for is not on your radio, we are covering all games. ABC Listen, just look for the AFL or AFL Extra button. So Andrew McWalter claims consecutive victories for the first time in his career as an Eagles coach. And West Coast, after conceding 7-3 in the first quarter against North Melbourne, once more were able to come from behind and claim victory. We're also covering the Sheffield Shield final, so it's available on ABC Listen. Just look for the dedicated cricket button. Victoria are 3 for 54. The last wicket to fall was Campbell Callaway. Here's how.
McAndrew bowling to Callaway, hit on the pad, goes around the corner, finger goes up from the umpire. Callaway is not happy. He was getting across, looking to turn it across to the onside, and he's given a few glares at the umpire, but that's not going to change his mind. Decision has been given. Campbell Callaway is out LBW. He's gone for 16. A third wicket falls, and South Australia are up and about. Victoria 3 for 35. This Shield final is well and truly on.
And the Vicks are now 3 for 54. Mitch Turner behind the mic. Coverage is available ball by ball on ABC Listen. Peter Hanskins on 6. Marcus Harris is on 9. Victoria 3 for 54, needing 142 runs for victory after South Australia were out for 258. The last wicket to fall was that of Alex Carey, who was out for 103 from 168 deliveries. So perfectly poised, a great chance to follow it tomorrow as it heads into its final day. Might be at work half. It's a good way to just chuck on the headphones and follow all the action with ABC Listen.
I might try and pop down to the
idea.
Junction Oval tomorrow.
Junction Oval, even better.
Might be an idea on a Monday afternoon, just see what's going on.
I don't think it'll get to Monday afternoon.
What time do they start?
10 o'clock,
10 a.m.
30. Yeah, maybe the very early afternoon.
Yeah, maybe very early. I'll pop into St Kilda for lunch, for brekkie, for brunch. Monday's my day off, so I can do that.
Social butterfly you are. Daniel Harford alongside Bob Murphy, Matt Clinch, Ben Cameron and Lauren Borden. And the other news is the Japanese Formula One Grand Prix is underway. Oscar Piastri has got off to a promising start after having issues with the first two races. One was by his own demise at Albert Park. The last race they couldn't get out of the garage, but briefly lost the lead to George Russell on lap 9. But the Australian has got it back once more, so we'll try and keep you across that action.
0.9 of a second, 13 laps into the 53 laps. Yeah, it is, 13 to 53.
Find a monitor. Thank you, Half. The talking point is going to be Tristan Sherry, as Ben mentioned earlier. It's been sent directly to the tribunal. So it's we'll now wait until Tuesday before we get an outcome. But Half, Bob, just some quick thoughts as to what you made of the action from Tristan Sherry. Obviously a 90-second moment. He'd love to get back, Bob, but now all he can do is, I guess, show the remorse that he's made the wrong move at the time.
It was strange. It was troubling. It was something you don't want to see in our game. And the more you think about it and the more you watch it, the more troubling it becomes, and the more grotesque it feels. It just is something so alien to our game. Because there's a number of thoughts that go into it. There's a couple of decisions that end up where we are, where it's not just someone is pushed in the back and then has a moment of violent, where they just swing an arm, or it's like no, there's a bit of thought that goes into it, and just not something we've rarely seen in our games. So.
I agree with what you're saying, but like watching last night, and I'm not making an excuse for Tristan Sherry, and I think he should absolutely have the book thrown at him. And
sounds like you're about
miss it. No, I'm just saying the way it played out. So he got bumped over, and I was watching on the couch, and I thought, oh gee, the big fella's gone down a little easily there. And then the Essendon players have suggested as much, and he sort of said, look, I didn't flop, my nose is bleeding. The decision to rub it on Andy McGrath's face was DUM silent B, and deserves every punishment in the world. But that's the origins of it.
Who cares about the origins of it?
No, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying.
You kind of are, though. What is the context?
I'm saying, he's saying, look, I didn't flop, my nose is bleeding.
That's great. I appreciate that.
But there's no need to wipe it on his face.
Okay,
I agree.
If it was a game of charades, no problem up until that. but the thought to go, oh, yeah, no, I've got blood, and
should have some.
And and I'd like to share it with you. I'm going to wipe it on your face, and you're half my size. I think.
So that's where
strange.
That's where I draw the line, right? So if he wipes his face and says, "Look, I'm bleeding," like that's the point he was trying to make.
Yeah.
Why he wiped it on his face, I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Indefensible.
So sent straight to the tribunal. Misconduct covers any act which would be reasonably regarded as unacceptable or unsportsmanlike, and where it has the effect or potential to prejudice or the reputation of any person, club or AFL, or bring the game of football into disrepute. I guess the question will be, as we try and look at what would be an appropriate penalty, are we looking at 2 weeks? Are we looking at 3? Are we looking at 4? Are we looking at 5?
It's totally unacceptable. Because you're right, Bob. There's a couple of layers of thought that go into it. Your point about prove that this I didn't flop, here's some blood to prove it. No worries. But to get to a point where you put it on someone's face, like that's absolutely unacceptable.
And
totally agree.
There's heat of the moment, but then there's this. It's not exactly heat of the moment. There's the charades, as Benny Cameron described so beautifully, up until the point. But then the next part to go, and now what I'll do with this blood on my face or this perceived blood is to wipe it on yours. I would think the AFL, and again, how many weeks he'll get, it is an open gambit here, but all options are on the table. I would think this is the AFL handing down a penalty on a player for junior levels and the entire game. I don't think this is for the other 800 players in the league. I think this is this won't happen again at AFL level.
Yep.
This is for the entire country of young boys and girls watching the game to say, if you think this has anything to do with our game, this is how wrong you are. And that's why I think the weeks will be high. I think it'll be a big one.
Cameron Lee made the point 24 years ago when it happened between he and Nathan Buckley. Bucks wiped it on his jumper, but he initiated the blood on Buckley. He copped a 1-week suspension as a result of that. And the theory was, well, if Bucks is going off the field, Lingy, you're tagging me, I'm going to take you off as well. But
so he was trying to make it look like Lingy had a blood rule as well.
A little bit,
Bucks was
in those days,
which is a bit different.
Even as our listeners made the point that in modern society, if that was to happen outside of a sporting ground, you could be looking at criminal charges potentially. So for assault, so the AFL will be keen to deal with this swiftly and to make an example of Tristan Xerri, and it'll be a question as to how many weeks he will cop, so we'll find that out in due course.
Yeah, the assault thing is interesting because if you punch someone on the footy field, that could be assault too if it's outside the footy
Absolutely.
field. But it's not how
that's not how it's handled, is it?
Yeah.
Wasn't Lethal and Neville Bruns, wasn't there?
Well, that was a slightly different scenario.
Yeah, those ones. It is something that comes up quite a bit though. Oh, if you did that on the street, and I understand it, but as was pointed out to me by a friend of mine, he said, "Yeah, but if you're at a tram stop and you try and take mark of the week on something, that's also it's like."
Is that not socially acceptable?
Only if you don't get your hands on
well, Tony Modra lookalikes who might have been in trouble.
It's technically described as an unrealistic attempt. What I'm trying to say is
the ball.
What I'm trying to say is there is a lot of things that happen on a football field.
Yeah, if you're at the tram stop, you try to tackle someone on the ground. But that's not what we do.
No,
but out here we do.
Yeah, and we rate chase down tackles highly. Having said that, when you're on the street,
I sort of feel like we've digressed as we do as a Sunday team, but the players are ready to go. And now the question is will we see another Carlton second half fade out? The Blues lead by 34 points. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy are with you. Lauren Borden's on the boundary. Matt Clincher now alongside Ben Cameron to get this second half underway.
6-1 centre clearances in the first half to the Blues. The D's have to fix it.
Up they go. Gawn palms it down. Windsor coming through. Just swings a handball forward. Nice pick up from Sharp. Tackled to ground though quickly. So ball up, attacking edge of their square here for the D's.
So that was a promising start for the D's.
Kicking to the punt road end in this third term. Gawn bringing it down again. Windsor gets it moving forward. Onto it though. Ollie Hollins gets it back to Dean. Now the Blues at centre half back. Walsh runs away from them. Handball to Florent. Sweeps a handball to Wiedering. Running off the right half back flank. He'll kick up to the wing. Mackay on a searching lead. Bounces through him. Out the back. Salem for Melbourne. Off to Howes. Turnover. Blues back with it. No, Smith with a turnover of his own. With the handball back to Steele. And he'll be piled on top of. So a ball up. Members wing. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Carlton by 34 points.
Hasn't made too many mistakes today, Jacob Wiedering. Just that kick to Harry Mackay, though. He just needs to have that a little bit high just to give him some sort of a chance. Don't kick it at Harry's feet ever. But today he looks hot. If he's given delivery that's half decent, Harry will mark everything today.
Hitting there one down the tap to Cripps. He was tackled immediately by Steele. Umpire throws it up once more. Gawn this time. Down to Cully. Under pressure, can't knock it clear. Chesser tries to dive over the top, and he's locked up by Chandler. Loz Borden on the boundary. We spoke about Jaff. Any sign of him on the bench in the second half?
Right at this moment, he's just walked up from the rooms. He's got his jacket on. It is a calf injury that Melbourne have said, and obviously that's pretty concerning for Jaff, given the issues that he's had with soft tissues and calf and Achilles. And he went to Qatar at the end of 2024 when he was at Hawthorn to try and get that sorted. So pretty concerned. You could tell when he came off, he was clear that something was wrong. So he's in his jacket and won't take any further part in the match.
Thanks, Loz. The other concern, Cosy Pickett on the exercise bike in front of you, starting this third quarter on the bench. Jagger Smith spinning out of traffic. Hand pass to Cripps. Tackled by Windsor. Shovels a hand pass 25 metres forward. On the bounce for Mackay. Tackled by Tom McDonald. Ball spills out. Hewitt down low. He can't bust his way through. Chandler and Sparrow lay the tackle for Melbourne. Carlton by 34 points. Early stages of the third quarter.
Up it goes. Neither ruck able to get a clean tap out. Pitnet burrowing after the footy, wins it. Off to Walsh, dispossessed in the tackle. Ball jars out of play. Throw in half forward here for the Blues.
Don't think Big Max was too happy with the way Pitnet jumped into him in that last contest. We'll see how he responds in this contest.
The umpire flings it back in. They go for a little waltz. Pitnet double punches it back towards the boundary line. It tumbles out. 15 metres closer to the Blues goal. 34 points Carlton's lead. It was as much as 43 when they kicked the 7th goal of the game.
Piastri's on the medium compound tyre too, for those that are interested.
Thanks, Ted Kravitz. Tapped down by Gawn. Onto it, Cripps. He swings a boot at it. Nowhere to go. Steele extracts it. Out to Windsor. Clearing kick for the D's. Beyond the defensive 50. Punch back in by Dean. Chesser away to Walsh. To Dean and the defender. And he got a nosebleed. He was so far up the ground and got the speed wobbles. Kicked it out on the full. So the Demons to get it back in their back pocket. Carlton by 34.
So what position is Piastri now, half?
He is in 6th. He's pitted. He's the top driver that's pitted, so he'll be back in the lead shortly.
And the Sydney Kings claimed Game 3 of the NBL Finals, 106-93 in front of a record crowd. The kick up the wing. Jacob Wiedering takes the intercepting mark from the Jack Steele kick. Carlton take it back on the wing.
Wiedering's been in control all day down there.
Yep.
Looks like the All-Australian version of 2024 as he works it up the field. Chesser marks for the Blues. Sends it up towards the top of the 50. Pitnet trying to get there. Mackay's worked underneath it. Cripps as well. Pitnet just knocks it on to the run of Haywood, who's tackled and dispossessed by Steele. Elijah Hollands tries to get a hand pass away to Jagger Smith. Couldn't take it. Back onto it, Hollands. Centering ball and finds Sam Walsh. Elijah Hollands has had a couple of good moments in the right forward pocket there. Just able to centre a little 15-metre kick. And Sam Walsh marks.
Just watching with interest the way, the tempo of the game in the start of this third term. We saw the Blues come out of the blocks like Usain Bolt to start the game, and even the second term. Really energetic, really electric. It's a bit soft at this start.
Sam Walsh looking for his first goal of the season, 2026. He fires offline to the left and it stays in that position. So 35-point lead Carlton's way, 7 goals to 1. 5 minutes gone, third quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Victoria 3 for 66. Need a further 130 to win. In the Shield final, a broadcast available on ABC Listen. Look for the cricket button. Windsor exiting kick from defensive 50. Howes can't mark it. Down at ground level. Petty after it. So too Sparrow. Back to Windsor. Gathers. Loops the handball over the top. Onto Howes to Cully. Handball back infield. D's onto the wing. Howes spinning out of trouble. Goes back to Sparrow. He'll kick. High kick towards the attacking arc underneath it. Pitnet juggles the mark. And he's been big today, Mark Pitnet.
Has been very good.
I thought I said no long bombs to the top of the arc. Pretty sure I said that. Send the runner out.
His kick is intercepted though. Harrison Petty takes the mark over Jacob Wiedering.
So that's a better ball.
That's the bridging
and
kick,
spots a kick. Jack Steele, he likes it in the middle of the ground. They can work this laterally because the run of Tholstrup at right half 40, 60 out from home into the pocket, and Langdon takes the mark.
Right. So get the runner back out there and say that's what we want. We don't want to be kicking long to the arc or just inside it because they're going to outnumber us. Their big bugs are killing us. Let's find other ways. Let's just chip the ball around a bit, pull them out of the defensive zone we're trying to get into, take the ball offline and get into the space.
Langdon kicked a couple of goals against the Dockers last week. He's in the long sleeves despite the sun beating down here at the MCG. Out to the right, have to kick from about 45 metres out. Ed Langdon comes in looking for the Demons second. It's not a bad effort. It's a great result. Something for Melbourne to build on, as they now have the last 2 goals in the match, having not kicked a goal until the 25-minute mark of the second quarter. Carlton fans just wriggle a little. 7-5-47 the Blues to Melbourne 2-6-18. We played 6.5 minutes in the third quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport with Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
So, Harf, I think you described the entry there beautifully. Quite poetic, actually, if I could even go so far. But that bridging kick, it does make such a difference. It's not just as simple as, don't bomb it in. It's like you actually have to get closer to then give yourself more options for the deeper entry. But in terms of amateur psychology, so the margin now, we've got 29 points. At what number do you think it starts to play a factor where Carlton might just get a little bit wobbly?
Inside 20.
Inside 20, okay.
In the middle, Cozzy Pickett picks it up. He did get the speed wobbles, went to ground, then a goose step. Like David Campese. As he chips it short for Cousin Latrell, drops the mark. And onto it quickly. The Blues able to work it out there through Zach Williams and onto Walsh and then Florent. Running off half-back, kicks up to the wing. Jagger Smith, he'll kick to half-forward. It's a good kick for Ainsworth. Ainsworth goes to ground now, veers out to the right, runs to 50, eyes the sticks and flushes it. Not quite. Right to the line and touched on the line, maybe into the post. Take your pick. Tom McDonald, that was very close. Tom McDonald might have headed it.
Let's get the arc onto that.
Looked like a goal to me.
Carlton by 30 points. 8 minutes 20 into this third term.
Xavier Lindsay wants to move it in quickly, making sure there is no review. It's a lever in the back pocket, sends Melbourne up to the wing. Van Rooyen's in a wrestle with Young at the back. Cowan for the Blues. Hand pass down low, not taken cleanly at first attempt by Carroll, but does get a hand pass forward. On the bounce for Cripps, outnumbered. Cleverly slaps it into the path of Smith. Hand pass back to Carroll, left half forward. Wormburner inside 50. Kemp missed it, as did Lever. Mackay can't gather. Tackle on Petty. Ball spills clear. Here are the Blues. They're lining up. Ainsworth this time opens up the angle and fires it through. Carlton have their first goal since the 1 minute mark of the second quarter and restore a 36-point margin. 8-6-54 to Melbourne 2-6-18. Ainsworth made his second chance count.
Well, some would say the footy gods have shined on Ainsworth there, because we thought he had a case for the one beforehand, but the bad couple of errors from the Demons defenders here, even just letting that ball filter back through to the corridor. Petty just coughs it up back into the corridor. And the Smalls from the Carlton Footy Club decided they were going to work and just get it back around the corner for a goal. That was an easy one in the end. So just little things, like if you're going to be under pressure, turn boundary, get the ball back in boundary side rather than the corridor, and open up the opportunity for the opposition pressure.
It's a big penalty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the middle, Van Rooyen doing the ruck work, taps it out the front door for Melbourne. Dropping it down, Keziah Pickett. Sparrow sockers it inside 50. Dean can't take the mark. Now the D's swarm, but Dean goes back and makes amends. Gives it off to Elijah Hollins. Back feeds a handball to Wiedering. Back to Young and a clearing kick to the wing. Here they come. Byrne crashes into the back of Jack Steele. Paid the mark. In the end, the former Saints captain. 70 from goal. He'll look deep towards full forward. They're queuing up the D's. Langdon drops the mark. Back down at ground level. It spits out. And it's snapped on goal. And it's put through. Chandler jamming it on the boot. And the immediate response for the D's. Back to 30 points. 8-6-54 plays 3-6-24. 10.5 minutes into the third term. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Clever little hands too by Cross there, playing in his first game. There was a bit of chaos. I mean, it was a genuine hotspot footy. Cross was able just to wrestle it to his teammate in Chandler. And that is a good hand to foot speed and accuracy. Not an easy thing to do. A lot of crowded numbers here, so that's repeatable, where you kick it to a dangerous space, bring a contest, and then let your smalls go to work. You can do that for the rest of the second half, and it'll keep you in reasonable stead. They've just got to hang in there at the moment, the D's.
Feels like they're back in the contest at least, having not scored a goal in the opening quarter. Free kick going, Cosy Pickett's way in the middle of the ground. He runs away from O'Keefe, the ruck, drives a dart inside 50. What a kick to Mychek, who lost his opponent Wiedering and rises in front and takes the mark.
There's a lot to love about that bit of play half, but something that won't have been picked up for those watching on television. Pickett rolls out of that centre square area, centre circle, and Mychek just puts the finger out to the right when all the players were leading to the left. It was a great understanding between Pickett and Mychek.
Looking for back-to-back goals for the Demons. Mychek comes in, and this time he makes the most of it. And the Demons are building. All of a sudden, Carlton's lead is cut to 24 points. The Blues 8-6-54 to Melbourne 4-6-30. The Demons with 2 goals in 2 minutes as they look to try and make inroads after trailing by 43 points early in the second quarter. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, 21-13 were the clearances in the first half in favour of the Blues. 6-1 out of the centre. Just in this quarter alone, centre clearances 3-0 in favour of Melbourne. So they've sorted that out. So they've gone from 6-1 down to 6-4 and 3-0 in this quarter. So with that, they get territory. With that, they get opportunity to score, lock the ball in their forward 50, which they did in the second half of that second term. So now the pressure's back on the mids of the Blues to try and nullify this and get something going their way.
3-1 in this third term going the way of the Demons, and 4 of the last 5 goals in the game. All of a sudden.
Sorry, but structurally it's in a bounce. They've created a defensive triangle. So they've opened up the front of the circle to surge through, to bring the ball through, and Carlton aren't choosing not to have someone there as a sweeper. They're playing man on. It just opens up the chance for Melbourne to get moving forward, put pressure on the Carlton mids defensively.
Bit of momentum, isn't it?
Yep.
Knock it forward, get it moving forward.
And they've worked it up towards half-forward here the D's, and Cozzy Pickett pinches it, but a high tackle was sharp on Hewitt. So Hewitt for the Navy Blues sends it out towards the wing, and Ollie Hollands will look around that worn wing, stabbing a pass for a leading McGovern, surging onto the footy, tumbling after marking.
And he wants the 50, he's going to get it. Petty was just trying to hold him up because he was wanting to try and transition quickly, and in the end, can't do that, trying to just hold the back of his jumper.
Yeah, he was going to go. He was absolutely going to go if Petty didn't do it. So he was sort of better the devil you know, I think, from Petty.
The other one for you to watch half is Max Gawn has come to the bench. He laboured his way through the game against the Dockers last week, but how much can he carry on his shoulders? And Mitch McGovern gets a look at a third goal. And he spent so much of his Carlton career as a defender. Back to where he played with the Crows on the wing and across half forward. McGovern comes through 50 from 45 metres out. It's a good looking kick. And McGovern has his third. And the Blues answer 2 consecutive goals from the Demons to restore a 30-point lead. 9-6-60 to Melbourne 4-6-30. It's 3-2 the way the Demons in this third quarter through 14 minutes. McGovern with his third. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
It's a clever play by McGovern. Whether he had the nous to think it would sort of suck Harrison Petty into overstretching and grabbing his jumper, we can't say, but just he turned quickly and he wanted to play on, and that was enough to put Harrison Petty in a bit of panic, and he just grabbed the jumper, and as soon as you do that, it's got a ribbon on it for the umpires, and they paid the 50-metre penalty, so they just are able to extend that lead again and take the amateur psychology that Half wanted to talk about out of it.
A little bit of breathing room for the Blues as Hewitt wins it at the coalface, gets it out to Jagger Smith. He's kicked to half forward into a scrimmage. Hayward off to McGovern, clever tap. Here's Byrne, the debutant, off to Evans. Flying shot on goal, misses left. Very nearly for the AFL's answer to Horace Grant in those goggles. The Blues back out by 31.
An inferior caller would have gone for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, yeah.
James Worthy.
Credit where credit's due.
James Worthy getting no love.
But I like the Horace Grant.
Big game James is a good one, but I loved Kareem the Dream too.
Lindsay out of defence, kicks up towards the wing. Cully in from the side. Gawn's back on the field and off hands.
Hakeem the Dream, wasn't it? I've messed it up.
Yeah,
sorry.
Sit
down.
Just look.
I think the compliment you got from a fortnight ago is...
Got a little bit giddy.
Yeah.
Big Bill Cartwright bought some goggles for a little while too. Big Bill.
There you go.
0437 774 774 if you want to add some names to the list. Here's Cozzy Pickett through traffic, takes the game on, hand pass to Sharp, looking for Fridge, trying to use his body against Young, who comes in from the side and makes the spoil. Gets a high five from Lockie Cowan. I'm interested in Bailey Fridge. He doesn't sort of lead up at the footy as much as Melbourne fans would probably like, and that being said, he does get a stoppage inside the forward 50.
That's his go, isn't it? Leading back at the ball. He's always been really good at finding the space, understanding where it's going to be and moving into it.
Gawn palms it down in front. Windsor coming through. 3-metre kick. Here is Francis Evans, who gives it to Hayward, who goes for a gallop through the middle. Taking a bounce, kicks the Blues to half forward. McGovern there with Petty. Palms it down, gathers on the bounce. Petty tackles him. Handball back to Hayward. Handball inside 50. Jagger Smith to Hewitt. Hewitt misses right.
This is better from the Blues the last couple of minutes. They're getting some run back into their game. That was from half back, that ball, and they left their Demons opponents flat-footed.
Been the worst team in 2026 scoring from D50 or going from D50 to an inside 50, so they'll be pleased to see that work in Carlton by 32.
Melbourne have been wrong side of the ball a lot of times in this third quarter. It's almost all duck no dinner type scenario they're running.
Lindsay to half back, not a great kick from Langford, although Melbourne do clean it up through Windsor. Sends it up the wing. Here's Latrell Pickett. Hasn't had a lot of it this afternoon. Trying to get it to Fritsch out the back. Young in front. Makes the spoil.
It's the long ball to the arc. We've talked about this.
Yeah, where's that 45 kick that works?
He had Sharp in the middle all by himself at the point of the square. All by himself. Didn't look inboard, looked outboard straight away.
John Longmire did a piece on AFL 360 about the launch pad or the launch zone, which I might come back to, as Hudson O'Keefe double palms it down in front. Williams dumps it on his boot, clears for the Blues, tumbling ball to the wing. House chops it off for the Demons, loops a handball over the top. He'll go get it himself, tackled, maybe without it. Elijah Hollins gathers the footy, gets it off to Florent. He's rolled into the tackle. Umpire wants it. And basically, imagine there's a zone from the arc to 70 metres out, so an extra arc. And he said, unless you're in that, don't kick it inside 50. Was the rule when he was coaching at Sydney.
Kareem the Dream said something very similar at the
what about Hakeem?
Lakers back in the mid-80s.
82 All-Star game, he was talking about that, I reckon.
Langford inside 50 for Melbourne. Cross trying to get the hand pass to Latrell Pickett. It goes out of play.
Or in his role, the famous role, of course, in Flying High. He was in the cockpit at the time.
My dad says you're slow on defence.
You tell your dad. You tell your old man.
Footy and entertainment on a Sunday afternoon. Tap down the way of the Blues and a kick from, in the end, Florent up towards half-back. Mackay makes it work and then dribbles a ball to Cripps, who's gone forward. Petty in front, knocks it away to Tom McDonald, and they try and clear it. Hand pass to Lever at centre half-back. Looks out to the members' wing. Fritsch is working up the ground. This time he marks.
Take him on.
Looks inboard. Pierces the kick. Found Langford. Langdon, I should say.
The launch pad now.
A hand pass away to Windsor. His hand pass was sloppy for Sparrow. Loses possession. Here's Cosy Pickett. Can he clean it up for Melbourne? 70 out from goal. Cuts back. Chips it over the top. And Sparrow rises to take the mark. Directly in front. 40 metres out from goal.
He's the one, Cosy, at the moment. That ball inside 50. He's done it a couple of times. So the 4 disposals for the quarter. Got to get the ball in his hands in that area. Attacking mid. So forward to centre. Still behind the forward 50. Get it into his hands. That's the area of the ground he should own.
Tom Sparrow has a behind next to his name. 16 disposals for the Demons. As they look to answer back after McGovern's goal. 3 goals to 2 Melbourne's way so far in this third quarter.
Big kick.
Sparrow pretty much directly in front, needing someone to seize momentum. Umpire shuffles to his right, but it does enough. Sparrow with his first. And the Demons continue to make inroads in this third quarter. 4 goals to Carlton's 2-4. The margin is back to 26 points the Blues way. 9-8-62 to the Demons, 5-6-36. Sunday footy on ABC Sport with Bob Murphy and Daniel Halford.
Well, if you were just looking at the game in this third quarter, you would think, oh, well, this Melbourne Footy Club, they look like they've got a little bit more run. They've got a little bit more appetite for the contest. The Blues have been protecting the lead. I don't think they've been doing any more than that. I think they've been able just to sort of hang in there. At the 21-minute mark, they're 4 goals down. If they can get themselves to within that next one, if they can kick one more, it does make the game very, very interesting. We'll see if the Blues can hold them out.
Go on, taps it forward here for the D's. Onto it though, Elijah Hollins, tackled by Sparrow. The goal kicker from moments ago, another ball up.
That's that zone we're talking about, front of the stoppage at centre bounce, centre throw up, whatever they call it these days. Tap it in there, surge forward.
Attacking edge of the square here for the Demons. Gorn taps it forward again. Florent tackled from all angles by the D's. Chandler wins it. Gets it out to Sparrow. High kick straight up and down. Cully goes and gets that. He's tackled immediately.
This is the criticism of Carlton, isn't it? When another side gets a run on, they look to be on their heels. They look to be a bit reactive. And at the moment, that's what Melbourne are taking it to them.
Sounds to me like you've been listening to Sam Doherty's voice memos. I think that was part of the criticism in that infamous voice memo as the ball pinballs around half forward here. And in the shadows, left half forward for the D's. Doing the attacking at the moment. Carlton by 26.
Thrown up in the air. Pitnet and Gorn engage. Gorn beautifully over the back. Sparrow couldn't get a kick away. Here's Byrne onto Boo, sliding it down low to make the spoil. It's over the footy. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. So what do you want to see, Bob, from Carlton in terms of just controlling tempo?
Well, in terms of the centre square bounce that Half mentioned before, the defensive, instead of going man on man where you're being dictated to, it's like, no, stick to what worked for you, get on your toes and make Melbourne uncomfortable, make them make some decisions and have some belief in your own system, which then feeds into belief in your own players. If you just start to go a bit conservative, that's when you give up You give up that instinctive play.
Cripps and Jagger Smith have both come to the bench, so that'll be an interesting watch for the Blues midfield as Walsh is tackled and can't break clear. Jack Steele lays the tackle. Carlton by 26 points. Pitnet sharks it away. Gathered by Hewitt. Hand pass to Walsh, hemmed in against the boundary line. Up towards Mackay. Can't take the mark. Tom McDonald makes the spoil. The ball goes out in front of the two benches, in front of Lauren Borden watching on. Laws, atmosphere at ground level for you?
Yeah, it's amazing to hear Carlton fans in full voice. Obviously, they scraped through a couple of weeks ago against Richmond, which feels like a long time ago now, but absolutely you can hear how loud they're cheering and maybe getting a little nervous, like you mentioned. Just reiterating, Jack is out for the game with a calf injury, so another soft tissue, unfortunately, for him.
Oh, Fritsch is out.
Windsor emerges with the footy, kicks to Latrell Pickett, inside 50 to Fritsch. Bob Murphy saw it early, and Bailey Fritsch marks 12 metres out, worse than a 45-degree angle. This would make the Blues nervous. To bring it back to 20 points late in the third term. They led by as much as 43. Fritsch snaps, Fritsch goals. And Melbourne are hanging around. What have Carlton got? 9-8-62 plays 6-6-42, 24 minutes into the third. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Was your point before, Matty, about the tempo that you want to see from the Blues? I don't want to see tempo from the Blues. I want to see them play the game at the speed, try and play the game at the speed that got them into this position. This is the problem with teams in modern footy. They get to a position through a system of play and then they change it because maybe they think they need a rest or somebody said they should.
Footy is a game of chaos, and players generally are better when they are feeling, not thinking. As soon as they start thinking too much, that's when doubts start to creep in. And you watch at the moment, Melbourne are playing. They're playing quickly, and it's about feel and it's about chaos. Carlton are just trying to go. They're too slow and they get it stuck in their heads, and that's when they become reactive and on their heels.
Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport. Walsh is trying to break out of the middle. He's tackled by Cozzy Pickett. Paddy Cripps had 7 clearances in the first half. He hasn't had one so far in the third, just 3 disposals. Gawn follows up his ruck work, gets a clearing kick to half forward. Fritsch was racing back to goal and Dean takes the mark on his chest. Harry Dean into the middle of the ground, spots Hewitt. He's got players on that Shane Warne stand side if he wants to swing it out there. One is Ollie Hollands, can go short on that to Cowan. Now it does get out to Hollands. He forces the players Langford to push up. Chip it over the top and Chesser marks. Between wing and half forward for the Blues as he looks up towards the forward 50. Mackay's in the pocket, wrestling with Tom McDonald. Off hands. Sparrow elected to punch it away into the pocket. Tholstrup tries to knock it on. Langford close to the boundary. Chesser gathers. Latrell Pickett lays the tackle. Mackay around his body. Kick is only far as Tom McDonald knocks it on to Sparrow. And eventually the Demons do clear. A high ball in which Cowan's underneath it and does well. Kept his eyes on the footy despite the pressure from Van Rooyen.
Oh, Cowan's kick is shocker. Dribbles along the ground, but it works out for Krebs. Breaks through a tackle. Can't get a kick away. That's holding the ball with a full 7:20. Missed the boot as well, I think.
Look at the run. They've come to life.
Oh, they are moving here the D's. Cozzy Pickett, a pirouette and a kick out wide. Finds Van Rooyen. It will kick up to half forward. Langford takes the mark over Carroll. Wide out. He's in the launch zone though. Kicks centrally, looking for Fritsch, and he's got it.
Gee, that's a good mark. He had no right to mark that. Jagger Smith really missed his read. He was in the right spot to get in the way and just missed it. And Bailey Fritsch had a really good read on what they was going to do, even though it was floating.
40 metres out, directly in front.
God, the turnover there, and they can't score.
He's a good young player, Jagger Smith, but he won't enjoy watching that one back. He actually had made perfect position as that off-ball on-baller. Whether he just had too much faith in his fellow defender, but he could have got involved.
Bailey Fritsch, that smooth left leg. Here come the D's. They've stormed back into this match. He's kicked the last 2 of the game. Carlton lead by only 14 points. 9-8-62 plays 7-6-48. They led by 43. 40 seconds into the second term. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
6 goals to 2 goals for in this quarter, so 6 shots apiece. Well, I tell you what, when you get it through the big sticks, it makes a big difference. But I reckon you're right on Jagger Smith, and that's all his fault because the way they allowed the ball to come down was a bit of a sad state of affairs for the Blues as well. But they have stopped, and they're starting to second guess themselves in every factor of the game, I reckon. And Smith's positioning there and effort there probably sums it up.
It's as clear as day when Carlton play to win and when they start trying not to lose.
7 of the last 9 goals away of the Demons as Sam Walsh tries to make a difference around that. Blues by 14 points, kicks out wide looking for Evans, can't take the mark. A Stolstrup holding on to him, not in the eyes of the umpire. And a throw in at left half forward for Carlton.
That was really good from Sam Walsh because, again, they opened up the front of the circle and Max hit it there. But as the ball, he was starting sort of at 9 o'clock. So on the sideline where the cross line marks the circle, and he moved into the space forward as it was happening. So that was a really clever way to defend that space.
Pitnet wins down the tap against Gawn. Pickett, that's Cozzy. Hand pass to Sparrow. They're linking now. Hand pass to Steele through the middle of the ground. Howes trying to get it forward. Brought down Cozzy Pickett. No whistle. Langdon forward to Fridge for 3 on the bounce. On the run. Misses to the right-hand side. Streaming through 50. Goal unmarked. There was a chance for Melbourne to throw a dagger through the heart of Carlton fans. It's a 13-point lead. The Blues way around the grounds with half. What's going on with the Japanese Grand Prix? Where's Oscar?
Kimi Antonelli's in the lead. Oscar Piastri's in second. He's 3.3 seconds behind.
Lap number
32 with 53.
That Mercedes is an absolute rocket ship this year. Kimi and George Russell might be a two-way battle for the title now.
Looks like
Zach Williams is very sore and sorry as he comes from the ground. Sore ribs by the looks of things.
Well, that's bad news for Carlton on a couple of fronts. You lose the experience of Zach Williams potentially, who looks pretty sore, but he is one player that doesn't seem to get stuck in his head and will play with a bit of intensity and a bit of tempo. So he's probably one of the last players they would have wanted to lose.
He's the latest player to find out what it's like to run into a Pickett, be it Byron or Cozzy. It was Cozzy who got him in the ribs and he saw Lauren Borden.
Yeah, the right side of his ribs as well. So that's what he was holding as Williams has gone straight down into the rooms as well. But the right side of his ribs looks pretty sore.
Thanks, Loz. Cully takes it back to the Demons. Kicks to Windsor at half forward. Opens up with the arc. Into the pocket. Looking for Myercheck. Getting back Dean. Support from Wiedering. And it's punched through for a minor score. Carlton leading by 12 points. Blues fans have seen this story. 30 minutes gone, third quarter. Carlton led by as much as 43 points early in the second quarter.
Florent taking the kick in. Thumps it long up to the wing. Mackay in good position. McDonald there too. Mackay comes down with it. Not paid the mark. Look out. Cripps tackled. Joe Cully caught him.
Totally blindsided.
D's back with the ball. Cully kicks them up to half forward. Windsor 60 out from goal. Can he find a target? Veers out to the right. Goes with a centering sort of kick to a contest. Fritsch hands to it. Hilly juggles it down. Onto it though, Lindsay. Gets rid of it away towards Langford. Latrell Pickett back to Langford. Jams it on the boot. His rush kick is out on the full. They are peppering at the moment though, the D's. They've kicked the last 3 goals. They've kicked 5 of the last 6. And 6 goals to 2 in this third term.
Windsor and Sparrow having big quarters, 11 each. 5 tackles for Sparrow, 3 inside 50s, 3 tackles for Windsor, 4 inside 50s.
And Melbourne definitely came back from Perth during the week, didn't they? It wasn't the other,
Pretty sure they did.
It was definitely them, not the other mob.
Yeah, that 17-day break.
Yep.
Ainsworth up towards the wing. Mackay can't take the mark. Lever with a hand pass forward to Fridge. Cozzy's involved again. Hand pass to Chandler. Tackled and brought down by Ainsworth, and the ball goes out of play inside 50. 17-9 Melbourne's way in this third quarter. The Blues leading by 12 points.
Pretty close to in the back there, didn't it?
Yep.
Ainsworth just launched into Chandler.
In the Shield, Victoria 3 for 85. They need 111 more to win. Gorn, beautiful tap down. Windsor kicks inside 50, not 15. Lands on the lap of Florent, who just whacks it out of there. Wants a reprieve off the hands of their pack. It's mopped up by Lindsay. D's ball again, off to Tolstrup. Kicks into the middle of the ground for Langdon. He moves it out to Van Rooyen. He's 80 from home. Van Rooyen goes into the pocket, looking for Cully. Up he goes, hands to it. Wiedering halves it, wins it at ground level, propels for the Blues, and Carroll low down. Takes the mark. I'll make that Louis Young. Rather 60 out from the defensive goal for the Blues. Carlton by 2 straight kicks.
Florent, Smith, Walshaw with 6 disposals for the Blues. As Young out towards Carroll.
Very good.
Petty from the side makes the spoil. Windsor with 12, Sparrow with 11, Cosy Pickett with 7, as you heard, for the Demons, who are charging in this third quarter. 6 goals 2 to Carlton's 2 goals 4. It's the Blues by 12 points.
What Petty did then, that's what playing on your toes is. That's looking to come forward and impact the next contest in front, not playing on your heels like we're seeing from the moment at the Blues.
Bourne slapped it down to Hewitt. He was tackled by Cosy Pickett. Spills out. Chandler now tackled by Walsh, a man possessed. And he wins back the footy for the Blues.
Yeah, had options. Chandler there to feed the ball to Latrell. Forward of the contest. Trying to do just a little bit too much.
Walsh is trying to stem the bleeding at the moment. Kicks the Blues to half forward. Good mark, Mackay.
Max is lucky he didn't get a hand on that ball then. He tried to flick it out. It would have been 50.
Between wing and half forward. Mackay thumps it into the pocket. Contest kick, up they go, and Tom McDonald knuckles into the footy. Tumbles out 40 metres around from the attacking goal. At the city end of the ground for the Blues. Carlton by 12 points.
It's a bit of the problem, isn't it, for the Blues in life without Charlie Curnow. If Mackay marks on the wing, they're going to be quicker in transition.
It's a good point. I mean, we talked about McGovern's role early in the quarter when he kicked his third, but you've got to have a presence in those scenarios.
Bourne works his way to the front against Pitnet. Punches it off the back of his knuckle and rolls it out of play in front of Sharp, who offers chase. Carlton by 12 points as we're closing in on three-quarter time. The Demons with 6 goals to 2 in this third quarter to bring the game to life. Max Gawn playing his 250th game alongside Tom McDonald from the throw-in. Clears both Pitnet and Gawn. Running on at Walsh, tackled by Pickett, great contest, spills out the way of Cowan, can't knock it clear. Latrell Pickett races after it, tries to combine with Van Rooyen, and that brings us to three-quarter time. The stage is set for an enthralling final term. The Blues leading by 12 points, having got out by 43 points. They kicked the first 7 goals of the match. And of course, this has been the challenge for Michael Voss, the fade-outs in the second half in 2024 and 25. And will it continue in 26? The Blues holding a 12-point lead at three-quarter time. 9-8-62 to Melbourne at 7-8-50. The Demons with 6 goals 2 to Carlton's 2 goals 4 in that third quarter. For the Blues, 3 goals to Mitch McGovern. Individuals to Smith, Cripps, Mackay, Ainsworth, Elijah Hollins and Byrne on debut. While for the Demons, their goals have come through Bailey Fritsch, who was able to take control a little in that third quarter and make some inroads for the Demons. So 2 goals to Fritsch, individuals to Myercheck, Sparrow, Langford, Chandler and Langdon for the Ds. Carlton by 12 points at three-quarter time. Formula 1 update from Japan.
Antonelli by 5.5, 36 laps into the 53 race there at Suzuka.
Have you got the Sheffield Shield as Alice from Holbrook says, my Sunday is getting better. Come on, you Ds. Victoria and South Australia in the final.
Yeah, Melbourne. Victoria are 3 for 85. Peter Hanscom 20 not out. Marcus Harris unbeaten on 26, so they need 111 to win. This feels like the partnership for Victoria, doesn't it?
Yeah, 2 pretty experienced hands there.
And earlier today at the Adelaide Oval, the West Coast Eagles recorded their second win of the season by 2 points. They booted 10 of the last 16 goals of the game, 13-14-92 to Port Adelaide, 13-12-90. The Power booted the first 4 goals of the game by 22 points at quarter time, 8 at half. The Eagles got in front by 11 at three-quarter time, but the Power made it 2 points with 2 minutes remaining, and the Eagles were able to hang on. And in the NBL, the Sydney Kings claimed Game 3 of the Grand Final Series, 106-93 in front of 18,373 fans in Sydney. Game 4 will be in Adelaide on Wednesday night. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Who will win the AI race? Has gambling become our national sport?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
The run of Tholstrup at right half forward. He's 60 out from home into the pocket. Langdon takes the mark. Out to the right, have to kick from about 45 metres out. Ed Langdon comes in looking for the Demons second. It's not a bad effort. It's a great result. Something for Melbourne to build on. Wormburner inside 50, Kemp missed it, as did Lever. Mackay can't gather, tackle on Petty, ball spills clear. Into the Blues, they're lining up Ainsworth this time. Opens up the angle and fires it through.
Down at ground level, it spits out, and it's snapped on goal, and it's put through. Chandler jamming it on the boot, and the immediate response for the D's.
Mitch McGovern gets a look at a third goal. McGovern comes through 50 from 45 metres out. It's a good-looking kick. And McGovern has his third. And here's Cosy Pickett. Can he clean it up for Melbourne? 70 out from goal. Cuts back, chips it over the top. Sparrow rises to take the mark. Sparrow pretty much directly in front, needing someone to seize momentum. Umpire shuffles to his right, but it does enough. Sparrow with his first. And the Demons continue to make inroads in this third quarter.
Fritsch is out. Windsor emerges with the footy. Kicks to Latrell Pickett inside 50 to Fritsch. Bob Murphy saw it early. And Bailey Fritsch marks 12 metres out. Worse than a 45-degree angle. Fritsch snaps. Fritsch goals. And Melbourne are hanging around. What have Carlton got? Kicks centrally, looking for Fritsch, and he's got it.
I think that's a good mark. He had no right to mark that.
Bailey Fritsch, that smooth left leg. Here come the D's.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Game on at the MCG. The Blues lead by 12 points, 9-8-62 to Melbourne 7-8-50. And Cameron and Matt Clinch calling the action. Lauren Borden will give us an update on Zach Williams. Jaff is out of the game for Melbourne. The thoughts of our experts, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Well, we talked about the potential psychology of today's game at half-time. Carlton looked like they were all but home, had dominated the first half, particularly that first quarter where they just completely obliterated the Melbourne Footy Club. And as the afternoon has progressed, Melbourne have just been able to make adjustments from quarter time. Second quarter, they were able to get their hands on the ball, just played with not as much method or as poise and composure as they would have liked in that third quarter. Perhaps because they know that Carlton tend to get a little bit wobbly or slow down or stop or play conservative. They seemed emboldened for whatever reason. Maybe that was not a factor at all. It just seems striking to me that a side that was belted off the park last week in WA and has flown back, they were the ones that were emboldened in that third quarter, and they came to life. They played with more energy, they played with more appetite, and they hit the scoreboard. And Carlton, as that third quarter went, they looked to be more conservative. They looked to want to move the ball slower than they had in the previous two and a half quarters. And they paid a heavy price, and this game is very much alive now, Huff.
I remember saying at the start of the third quarter, about 5 minutes in, I was watching the tempo that Carlton were playing with, because it was very different to what they'd done in the first half. And then that continued. And even as Melbourne came at them in that third term, it got worse. They got slower. They got, as you said in the call, on their heels a lot. They were really stationary.
Yeah. Something that I think is worth considering for Carlton, and something I want to watch in this last quarter. They seem to struggle with their tempo with their ball movement to go from quick to fast or slow. But that when they go slow ball movement, it seems to have a direct impact on that they defend slowly as well.
Yep.
Final quarter underway. Carlton leading by 12 points. Gone down to Steele. Snaps it up to half forward for the D's. Sharp out after it. Cully's in there too. Trying to knock it out. Chandler. He's wrapped up. And a ball up, 55 out from the attacking goal here for the D's.
I tell you, there's a big performance in that third quarter from Maxi Gorm. He dominated stoppage.
Game 250, Pitnet palming it down. It's Max Gorm, game 250, but Pitnet winning the tap. No room for the ball to emerge, so we'll do it again.
Well, if Max had a big third quarter, look out, because he's a huge fourth quarter player.
Well, he's the king of the last quarter.
He's the king of the last quarter, yeah. I broke that news here 2 weeks ago.
Ali gets a hand pass to Windsor, kicks up towards full forward, cross around his body in his first game as a Demon. Paddy Cross with the first goal of the final term from Casey, picked up at the start of the season after the retirement of Stephen May, and having featured for Casey in their first game against Footscray in the VFL. Here he is on the MCG, pulling his side within 6 points, living the dream. Carlton 9-8-62 to Melbourne 8-8-56. Instinctive gather and finish.
Yeah, it's one of the most pure things in our game. First game player, bang, played in front, That is a football truism that's been around for 100 years as a forward. If you play in front, you're more of a chance. And the clean take and the instinctive nature of the play, just a swing on that right boot.
Yeah.
Dean gave him too much space and he slammed it through. And things have really tightened up for the Blues.
I love to see the guys who take the hard road, making it big in the AFL as Pitnet palms it down to Cripps. Kick inside 50 for the Blues. Outside of the boot for Hayward. It'll go to the goal square. Nearly gets a kind bounce. Just through for a behind. Carlton lead by 7 points. They led by 43. Less than a minute into the second term. Lauren Borden downstairs.
Zach Williams is all right and good to come back on. So saw in those right ribs, did a few run-throughs at three-quarter time, and he's sitting on the bench and ready to come on. Bailey Fritsch as well, a little issue with his left ankle, so he's got that looked at by the physios and has his boot back on.
Thanks, Lars. In front of you, interesting game of charades as they were trying to free Gorn up and hold him back. Salem was always going to kick it to him, and Max gets a free kick for over the shoulder against Pitnet. Kick looking for Cully, rising up. Chesser makes the spoil. In front of the Carlton fans in the Olympic stand, it goes out of play for a throw in. The Blues by 7 points, 2.5 minutes gone, final term.
It's no small thing from Chesser there. That's more of that proactive play on your toes, defend with intensity. Always defend with tempo and intensity. Think about tempo with your ball movement, fine, but not with team defence.
Pitnet takes it out of the ruck. Sorry, Clinchy.
I've gone out of the way.
We're both being too proactive here. We're on our toes, aren't we, Clinchy? As Chandler kicks up to the wing, Sharp drops the mark. Chesser coming through. He leaves it behind, allows in Cully. Now Chandler's kick slides off the side of the boot towards the logo. Bouncing ball and Elijah Hollins for the Blues.
Out past to Walsh to a stationary Cripps trying to get it forward. One way then the other from Cheshire. Chesser tackled by Sharp, spills out inside 50. Petty doesn't deal with it. Walsh gathers, standing start, Jags towards goal. Won't work back enough from left to right. And a minor score. The Blues doing it in single digits. A couple of behinds after the first goal from Paddy Cross. It's an 8-point lead Carlton's way.
Petty makes me nervous down there at the moment. He coughed up that ball back inside for Ainsworth's goal in the third quarter. Gave the 50 away to McGovern. Nearly cost him another one there.
Tolstrup taking the kick in, goes for a run, spears it to Cully. Cully on the right back flank, kicks out for Gorn, right there with him, Pitnet. Low down, Gorn can't mark, spills to Pitnet, slaps it back infield. Will work out for Steele, tackled by his opposite number 9. Cripps envelops him and a ball up on the wing. Carlton by 8.
Max really quick to try and push forward there as that D's ball came out of D50, stretched the opposition.
Slaps it forward here, Gorn. Spills to Myercheck, looping handball for Salem. Gets the handball to Windsor, has to juggle it. That allows in the Blues, they pinch it. Ollie Hollins to McGovern, to Elijah Hollins, through the bullseye. Short for Mackay, centre half forward here, Carlton. Mackay looks inside 50, one-on-one, Lever hands to it. And there was a shove from Kemp. Free kick, Lever, fullback for Melbourne. Carlton by 8 points still.
It's clever from McDonald to lay off Mackay as he got to that ball at the arc. It just owned that back space a little bit. Just create a bit of doubt for that next ball coming in.
Harrison at half back. Petty just dropped it through his hands. It's gathered away by Florin. Here go the Blues to half forward. Hayward looks up inside 50. Mackay one-on-one. Lever makes the spoil. Getting back. Good defence in the end from the Demons as it's knocked out, although it was Howes who had to try and deal with the pressure coming from Hayward, and a ball up just inside the 50 for the Blues. Carlton leading by 8 points. 5 minutes gone, final term. It's Ben Cameron on ABC Sport.
Put aloft. Both rucks touch it. Walsh at the feet of them. He's got no working room. Tried hard, Sammy Walsh, to fight and swim upstream as the D's have come back into this game. 8 points Carlton's lead. Gorn taps it down. Cripps has it though. Gets it off to Walsh. On to Jagger Smith. The big names combining. Elijah Hollins swings it on goal. And a much needed goal for the Blues. His second. And they're back out by 14. Just calm it down. 10-10-70 plays 8-8-56. 6 minutes into the fourth.
I'll tell you what I've learned today watching him play a kick around corner for 45. He's done it twice now at that end. He knows as soon as he kicks it whether it's good or not. As soon as he kicks it, finger goes in the air. I flushed that. Don't worry about it. Let's get back to the centre and reset. It's a great finish. Cripps really strong at that contest. With the dead set throw, but they do that these days. You get away with anything these days. Put on a travel load if you like, but that was a terrific finish from the Blues. And as you said, You could just calm the farm a little bit for the Blues fans out there. That was super important.
Just gave the left-hand military salute to Hollins, which I don't know if that's by the book, the left-hand version, but sort of something.
Pitnet almost out of the middle, just couldn't quite get it to Cripps, and the D's through Steele over the top to Sparrow, chips it straight to centre half forward, and Sharp takes the mark right on 50. Veers out to the right, he's got Myercheck in the goal square, the kick is offline, flying in from the side cross, Dean makes the spoil.
It's on the full.
Weathering's hand pass comes off the knee, or just above the knee of Langford, and that's out on the full. So a free kick for the Blues in the back pocket.
So the third quarter of their entries, they got the ball offline and really stretched Carlton's defence. At the moment, they're just going long to the square again.
Evans to half-back, Cripps and Kemp in the pack. Cosy Pickett gathered, hand pass chopped off. Cowan, hand pass to Ainsworth, kicks up the wing. O'Keefe can't take the mark. And Petty takes it back for the Demons.
Kicks infield, turns it over. Elijah Hollins wins it, but then it's coughed up by the Blues, and Hudson O'Keefe and Petty wins it back. The D's from halfway, inside 50. Bouncing ball over the back of the pack. And seen out by Wiedering, throw in right forward pocket for Melbourne.
Just checking the back catalogue of Tom Petty, if there's a song with a title relating to making me nervous when he's got the ball in his hands. Because Harrison just, he's making me very edgy when he gets the ball at the moment.
Umpire throws it in. Knocked away by Louis Young, doing the ruck work for the Blues. Ainsworth there, little 1-2 with Walsh. Ainsworth around the boundary line, goes with the banana, and it works out. Harry Mackay marks on the wing.
Carlton fans wanted 50 for that as Petty puts his hands on his knees. The Blues lead by 14 points.
Must be due for a rotation, I reckon.
Inboard the kick to Hewitt.
They've found their defensive tempo this quarter, Carlton. The ball movement, we'll see how that plays out, but they look like they're starting to defend with a bit more vigour, and they're on their toes and they're making things happen, which was completely absent in the third quarter.
Back to Wiedering, back to Hewitt. Now to Ainsworth up the members' wing. So at the very least, Carlton are taking the free kicks that are on offer in terms of leading players up, and Melbourne not defending. Elijah Holland, I should say, is the last to do so. Kicked 2 goals, was delisted at the end of last season and forced to train his way back onto the AFL list. He did so by getting an SSP contract, willing to put his head down and do the work. To Walsh, who chips it back to Elijah Hollins, who runs into space at left half forward. He now quickly moves it inside 50, trying to work his way to the front. Carroll! Kemp put a block on. All of a sudden they lost body contact, and Cully couldn't believe it as his opponent worked his way to the front and takes a good mark.
Yeah, lost body contact all the way through that chain. You called it really well. There was no pressure on Carlton. They were able to tic-tac and advance the ball. Bob used that phrase before. I liked it. Just advance the ball, kick by kick, and Melbourne just let them do it and get to a position where they could roll on like Hollins did there and kick it to a really dangerous spot.
19th game, Matt Carroll's kicked 1 goal before now from 25 metres out. He now kicks a crucial final quarter goal for the Blues. Second of his career, and back-to-back goals to steady the ship. Carlton lead by 20 points after the Demons kicked the first goal of the final term to get within 6 points. Carlton 11-10-76 to the Demons 8-8-56. Ahead of half, and Bob, Lauren Borden down on the boundary.
More concern for Zach Williams here. He just took himself to the bench and basically shook his head a little and said, this is pretty tough for me. Holding the right side of his ribs again, and again he's gone back down into the room with the doctor.
I'll tell you, Matt Carroll, I coached him at school footy, and when we're under the pump, we'd give him the 50, forward 50. I know he's made his name as a half-back. He's playing on a wing at the moment. But we'd give him the 50 and let him go to work. He's got real good craft, reads the ball really well, body work's fantastic, and he's a beautiful kick.
Pagan's paddock.
Yeah, and it worked a few times too. He's a serious talent.
Carroll's cage.
Don't mind it. Out of the middle. The Blues get it going forward, but the Demons win it. Here's Salem trying to slip a tackle. Goes to ground, he was legged. Salem moves it out wide. Finds a man out there in Lindsay who stabs it short for Latrell Pickett. Right on the arc of 50, takes the mark. Can the D's keep coming? Find a way back into this match again.
We're on Boomer watch, aren't we? Can he run around the man on the mark?
Oh, that'd be exciting.
He hasn't really found his rhythm so far today, Latrell, so if he was to bring out the trick book now...
He veers out to the right, gets to 50, kicks on goal and tugs it. Out of bounds on the full. Carlton by 20 points, 11 and a half minutes played, fourth term.
It was a little trick. He exploited the man on the mark. He ran just offline late. He ran full steam, just offline late, so he kicked it from pretty much where the bloke on the mark was, but just to the side of him.
Which with the stand rule, you don't really have to try and run around the man on the mark anymore. Long kick for the Blues, out of defence. Mackay tries to present, can't take the mark. Cully for Melbourne, hand pass to Latrell Pickett. Now to Lindsay, hemmed into the left forward pocket, fires towards goal, it's offline. And Ollie Hollands doesn't take the mark, bounces into the behind post. This will be a throw-in the right forward pocket for Melbourne. So Wiedering looks back to his fellow teammate, said, I had you covered. Dropped the mark.
Antonelli in full control, 5 laps to go, 13.2 seconds ahead of Oscar.
13.2. Now, I'm no expert, Half. That sounds like a lot. Those cars move swiftly.
They do.
Throw in inside 50 here for the D's. Myercheck doing the ruck work, then turning tackler. And holding the ball.
Oh, wow.
So Myercheck wins the free kick. Was there anything in it, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy?
Just seen the replay. He took a half step to try and avoid the contact, but gee whiz, that is brutal.
I'm not sure his arms were ever free. George Stewart.
Brett Rosebery paying the free kick. He knows enough about this game. He's been doing it long enough. But that's brutal. I don't reckon it's a free kick. That's
harsh. Yeah, very harsh.
Sharp is actually getting it. He was the first tackler. Myercheck was the jump on top of. And Harry Sharp to try and unwrap the gift. He does. And Melbourne make Blues fans nervous again. 11-10-76 plays 9-8-62, back to 14 points. 13 minutes into the fourth. Plenty of time in this game.
Yeah, no, that's, in my view, that's a bad decision. And it's coughed up a goal and absolutely puts pressure on Carlton and their supporter base, more importantly, in some degree. Seeing the replay again, gets it, takes a half step because he had two blokes bearing down on him. Not just going to sit there and cop that, and then gets the free kick paid against him. I reckon that's unfair.
There'd be a lot of midfielders that are nervous if that's going to be paid.
Yeah, that's the standard. Well, we're going to have a lot of free kicks too, just by the way.
Carlton's lead cut to 14 points, got out to 20 with the previous 2 goals of the match. Big centre clearance here, Gorn up against Pitnet. Pitnet flicks it over, Gorn I should say, flicks it over the top. Hewitt was awake to it, couldn't gather. Walsh can, kicks out towards the wing. Foot races on, Ainsworth leads it, tries to get there first against Howes, can't take possession. McGovern over the footy, Penny over the top of him. Umpire circles and will ball it up. In front of the 2 benches, the Blues by 14 points. 14 minutes gone, final term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Up it goes. Gorn just slaps it forward. Nice pick up, Florent. His handball back into the congestion. Cozzy Pickett, his handball out of bounds. Last disposal.
They're going to go up and have a look at this, I think.
They'll just pause it. The umpire's understandably jittery after what we saw on Thursday night.
Tom Atkins' approach, take the footy and call it your free kick.
Umpire Martin Roger, your man Half, says just spin it in.
Is that 2 people?
Both rucks with hands on it. Down to the front it comes. Cozzy can't gather it. Elijah Hollands buffeted off it, and the D's have it. Through the hands of Sparrow to Gorn to Windsor. Kick around the wing. Gathered by Wiedering. Back with the Navy Blues.
That's defending on your toes, Jacob Wiedering.
Florent kicks up to half forward off the hands of the pack. Back with the D's and now Gorn.
Got the hand pass to Sparrow against the boundary at right half back. Kicks up towards Fridge. Young back with courage. Takes the mark. Peeled off Van Rooyen. Supports Wiedering. And takes the mark across half back.
And all over Van Rooyen today. He's had no influence, Big Jacob.
Chips it back to Ollie Hollands, who marks inside the defensive 50. Carlton by 14 points.
After that career best day we saw him have here a couple of weeks ago against St Kilda.
He's goalless last week as well, Half.
6 goals in that game against the Saints. Gorn got rid of Harry Mackay. Hand pass forward to Sparrow. Now to Van Rooyen on cue. Drives a long kick inside 50. From the back, cross flies. Can't take the mark. Fritches the crummer. Opens up the angle on the left. Curling it back. Got it! Fritch with his 3rd. And the Demons will not go away. Back to a single-digit ball game. Carlton's lead is 8 points. 11-10-76 to Melbourne 10-8-68. Bailey Fritch with 3 goals in the second half, and that's more like the Bailey Melbourne fans love.
Bailey Fritch is often the canary down the mine for Melbourne. When they move the ball quickly inside 50, he's a player that causes opposition all sorts of headaches because for a player his size, He can lead at the ball. He runs unusual angles because he's a left footer. He doesn't miss. When the ball's slow, he looks like an undersized key forward, but when it's quick and there's chaos, he comes into the game.
Back in the middle, Gawn again, beautiful for Sparrow. Out the front door go the D's. Unable to mark down there at full forward, Myercheck. He'll go again. Ball comes out at ground level. Chandler gets it out to Cozzy Pickett from 45. Floats it on goal. It's offline. He misses to the left-hand side. Carlton lead by 7 points. 17 minutes into this final term. 67,763 in attendance.
6-7.
You are up with the kids. Stephen King puts his hands to his mouth as Cozzy Pickett misses that shot on goal. The Demons are coming. Ollie Holland's out of defence, kicks up towards Pitnet, Gawn in front, brings it down, Sharp gathers for Melbourne, hand pass to Howes and now to Tom McDonald, reloads inside 50, setting himself cross in a pack full of Blues, it's brought down to the front, Latrell Pickett trying to gather, he can't, Ollie Hollands wants the boundary, cuts around Windsor, eventually got a hand pass to Walsh, over the top to Jagger Smith, at half back and now to Evans, off balance, he got bumped, kicks in the middle of the ground, great mark taken, here goes Ainsworth, breaking up to half forward, looks up, only has a one-on-one in Kemp, has to go there, against Lever. Lever wakes his way to the front, takes the mark. Melbourne respond.
And Lever goes quickly, looking for Sharp, look out. Frankie Evans comes in late. He saw it clearly and he punched it out of bounds. Throw in alongside the interchange gates.
So plenty of time still. No need to panic for either team, really. I mean, Carlton have got to make sure that they've got to kick 2 more goals or they're going to win the game. Carlton in the next nine and a half minutes.
We've gone 18 minutes in the fourth.
But you can't panic to do it.
Carlton leading by 7 points. Gone down for Sharp. His handball to the Blues. The quick kick from Jagger Smith. Straight to Tolstrup. D's with it. Backward of halfway. Onto Cozzy Pickett. Short to Salem. In the middle of the ground. A shallow inside 50. Punched away by Chesser. Punch right back to Wiedering too. Gathers for the Blues and waits a kick neatly. Ollie Hollands can't mark but recovers.
He feeds a hand pass around the boundary line. Gets it to Chesser. Links a hand pass over the top. The debutant Byrne down towards McGovern. Petty in front makes the spoil. Wants the boundary line. Steps it across. The throw in. And right half forward for the Blues. Carlton by 7 points. 11-10-76 to Melbourne. 10-9-69. The D's have got back to single digits now on 2 occasions. After the Blues kicked 2 goals to get out by 20 points in this final term.
Salem had Sparrow and Pickett running with him, pulled the trigger on a kick he didn't need to pull the trigger on. Just composure, critical.
Gawn thumps it in the middle of the ground for Langford. Miss Lindsay with the hand pass. Ollie Hollands got it on to Chesser. Tackle by Windsor. It's a desperate ball to be won in the middle of the ground and neither side can break clear.
Well, that one against Hewitt's a free kick. That's a free kick. Just tried to spin out of trouble. That's his pry.
Gawn slapping it down. Latrell Pickett buzzing through the contest. Feeds the handball onto Steele, who taps it on cleverly. Latrell Pickett slaps it on for Langford. Langford can't quite gather it. Tries to soccer it. And he got legged in amongst all of that. Maybe soccering in danger.
Yep.
Yeah. Clipped Ollie Florent. You don't see a lot of soccering in danger these days.
It was a fair hoof.
It was a big follow through for an off the ground.
It was.
It wasn't in danger until he gave it the full Darren Bennett treatment.
Ball goes out of play under the Shane Warne stand side. NFL's here.
Yeah, that's true. September 11.
Bob's lost it.
Did you snort then?
I think he did.
It was me.
Oh, it was Ben. Oh dear. Carlton by 7 points.
That's a win.
I don't even know. It's not that funny.
Oh, come on now.
Got me.
Pitnet sharks it forward. We need to straighten up. Into the direction of Florent. Squeeze the kick end over end up the wing. Bouncing ball for McGovern. Can't gather. Jake Lever gathers at half back for Melbourne in the middle of the ground. Windsor pulls it down in front of Van Rooyen. Hand pass to the runner Lindsay. Here comes Cross on the lead. Dean getting back for
Well done, Harry Dean.
Huge, Dean.
A chip off the old block as he cut across and takes an excellent intercepting mark. And then switches to Carroll, who drops the mark, invites the pressure from Sharp, lays the tackle. Melbourne fans cheering for holding the ball at the city end. They don't get it. The ball up in the right forward pocket.
Here we go. This game feels so hot at the moment. Gawn and Pitnet arriving late. Jagger Smith gets it out. Evans dispossessed in the tackle.
That's on the ball.
Holding the ball, says the umpire.
Yep, that's correct call. Tried to fend off, was tackled and dropped the ball.
So Chandler is the man who emerges with the free kick.
The fans don't like it, but that's the correct call.
The tackle did scrape over his head
as he ducked though.
He lost the goggles too.
If the umpire didn't make the call, Harry Sharp gave it the full holding the ball.
Chandler's had a couple of moments today where he's lost his composure and he's taken a few hits today, so he does look tired.
Just a reminder, the Blues, less than a minute into the second term, led by 43. Kate Chandler cuts it to 1 point. The smallest possible margin. 11-10-76. Plays 11-9-75. It's happening again, Blues fans. 22 minutes into the fourth.
It certainly is. And they won't know what to do with themselves, the poor old Blues fans. I'm thinking of them at the moment. But for the D's, they've done a hell of a job to get this game back on terms. We talked about it at half-time. There wasn't too much, particularly in that second term, that they did wrong. They gave themselves some good looks to put some pressure on Carlton defensively. That's what they've continued to do in this second half. And then they've got forward pressure in. They've got the ball inside their forward 50 a few times, locked it in, puts defenders under pressure. You get bad decisions. And you've got to execute and pull the trigger and make sure you make the most of them, which the D's have done in the second half.
Well, the silver lining for Carlton, now you have to try and win.
Yep.
Instead of trying to not lose, now you actually have to go after this win because the opposition, they're up to their eyeballs in it.
In the middle of the ground, Gawn flicked it down, pick it off the boot to Cully, hand pass away, driving kick from Lindsay.
Brilliant.
Good mark, Young. In the pack, he's able to come down with a mark for the Blues.
What a big play that is.
Huge mark.
Feeds the hand pass away to Ollie Hollands, out of defence, but only momentarily. His kick is chopped off by Cosy Pickett. He plays on it left half forward, trying to find the right option.
Massive.
Wanted the chest mark. Hollands, that's Ollie made the spoil. Spills out the way of Byrne. Lays the tackle on Cully. Desperation from both sides.
That's one of the spoils of the year. That is high level defence.
Maybe could have gone with the hands out in front. Bailey Fritsch.
Oh, he could have. He didn't know he was coming. That's how good a defensive position it was.
Hitnet wins down the tap. Cosy volleys it inside 50. Dean went up early, missed the footy. Gathered by Langford around the body for the lead for the Demons. Kicks it through on his left. Langford with his second. And the Demons have hit the front. It's a 5-point lead at the 24-minute mark of the final term. The Blues led by 43 points in the second quarter. And the D's have come rattling home with 11 of the last 16 goals of the match. And now they lead. For Carlton fans, it's a pain you've seen all so often before. There's still time. 24 minutes gone in the final term. Melbourne by 5. Bob Murphy, Daniel Harford.
Well, Carlton Footy Club, you see little glimpses of those who understand it. So Jacob Wiedering has done it all day in his whole career, where he positions himself, he tries to read the play, and then he reacts. Louis Young has had some magnificent moments, but it's too few and far between.
Harry Dean's coming off too, with a problem, left shoulder.
Again,
he looks really sore.
They've already lost Zach Williams, and he's a player that offers them that kind of defensive vigour and tempo. Young Harry Dean, he's made of the right stuff as well. So they've lost another crucial soldier.
This has been incredible. A 48-point swing in the game. Harry Dean saunters off. He came in with a big spoil, landed awkwardly on that left shoulder. It's a shoulder that he's got a fair scar on too, so I assume has already had some sort of surgical repairs previously. Hopefully that's okay. Gawn taps it down. Steele tackled quickly. Umpire will ball it up.
All that's been happening, Kimi Antonelli's greeted the checkered flag first. He's taken out the Japanese Grand Prix ahead of Oscar.
Kimi Antonelli might be the man for the world title this year. It's his second Grand Prix victory of the season for the diminutive and young Kimi Antonelli.
Just a boy.
Gawn tapping it down, then turning tackler with Jack Steele. Melbourne lead by 5 points. Carlton led by 43.
How big is this for Michael Voss? Sparrow around his body, kicks up towards half forward. Myercheck gathers the footy, hand pass chopped off Cheshire, ran into a Cully tackle. Young gets the hand pass away, Florent one way then the other. Sparrow almost brought him in. Hand pass forward to Walsh, now away to Carroll, trying to run it through the middle of the ground. Punch forward in the end by Chester, only as far as Salem. Melbourne take it back at half-back, kicks out towards Myercheck. He marks on the wing, looks inboard. Demons streaming inside 50. He goes for Fritsch, it won't get to him. Ollie Holland's getting back.
That was not
into his chest.
That was not the kick. Not the kick at all.
Didn't need to play on.
He's been good, Hollands. He moves it onto Cowan, who kicks up to the wing. Kemp can't mark it. Howes breaks it up, loops it over the top for Sharp. D's inside 50. Charge down. Florent knocks it away, goes and gathers it. Blues in the back pocket, clearing kick, partially smothered. Pickett knocks it down. This is Cozzy, who just turns onto the right, shows his class. And Demons fans around the ground erupt. It's Cozzy's Kingdom, the MCG. Melbourne by 11. 13-9-87. Plays 11-10-76. What a turnaround in this game.
What a turnaround indeed. It's been quite something. Inside 50s this quarter, 16-6. Carlton have stopped. We talked about this at halftime, even in the first quarter. Will they be able to maintain this rage all the way through? In the last half, they're absolutely being mauled from a time in zone, time in forward half territory number in favour of the Demons. They're absolutely killing them. But 16-6 in this last quarter is unacceptable. You cannot allow that to happen.
Cozzy, what an impact he's having on this game. The last 5 goals the way of the Demons. Here he is again. Cozzy gets it from Sparrow, centres it up to Fritsch, who marks directly in front, 40 metres out. And the D's fans are rejoicing at the city end. And the Carlton fans, well, they're heading for the aisles.
They are, look at them.
We can see them below us. They've seen enough.
They have.
Don't need to be there for the end.
That's a constant stream, isn't it?
Look, all around the ground it's happening.
They are piling out.
I don't blame them. Emotionally, I'm not sure if I was a Carlton supporter I'd be able to get through this.
Oh, there's a few welfare texts and phone calls tonight.
It's an 11-point lead Melbourne's way. Bailey Fritsch coming in. Make that now 6 consecutive goals in the final term for the Demons as Bailey Fritsch puts through his 4th, and Melbourne marching towards that famous win here at the G, having trailed by 43 points early in the second quarter. What a turnaround in this second half for Stephen King, the first-year coach in his 3rd game, and for Carlton fans, all the pain. 17-point lead Demons way. 14-9-93, Carlton 11-10-76, Lauren Borden on the boundary.
The huge cheers there are obviously Melbourne fans, but don't discount some of the noise being made from these Carlton fans. Some are actually screaming beside me, just in frustration watching this match go on. Just on the injury front, it's not a lot better there with Harry Dean, his shoulder injury. He's still getting that checked out. Lockie Cowan, who replaced him, was having some trouble with his hamstring. Zach Williams is back up, but he's got the jacket on and he's got a rib issue, so nothing going right in the second half for them.
Are we allowed to say it's mental for the Blues yet? A 10-goal turnaround in this game. Gawn gets it moving forward, but Florent repels, kicks inside 50. Mackay hands to it, the mark. Harry Mackay has Elijah Hollands streaming to goal, but ignores that.
100%.
Yep.
It's psychology.
It's just over and over. Same thing over and over again. Mackay, his drop punt, hits the post. And that might have been the last hope for the Blues.
There's a direct link from the psychology to the physical, but I think it starts upstairs for them.
Well, you've been on it all day, Bob, and you've really driven this agenda on the broadcast today, and we've seen it come to fruition like a train crash or a car crash in slow motion.
Lever gets it from Salem with the kick in, sends it long up the wing, Gawn in front, and reaches up. Mighty Max in game 250.
So the flip side of the psychology is Max.
Yeah.
At half-time, and what he did in the third quarter with his dominance at contest and stoppage, and what he's done this last quarter, that's the flip side.
Yeah.
We have to be better for Max.
The 8-time All-Australian gets a rousing applause to half forward. The Blues with a chance to try and clear here from half-back. Cripps, hand pass to Walsh, still running. Salem, he broke the tackle. Walsh, not the second, can't get past Cozzy. He is everywhere in this second half and wins the footy back for Melbourne between wing and half forward on the members' side.
This is going to be a game high 32 for Cozzy.
I'll have to get you to give us the third quarter stats. There was a flash that said it was one of his fourth highest rated games in terms of quarters. As Tholstrup takes the mark and they're toying with him now. Langdon's all on his own, leads up, marks at left half forward. He's just inside 50. You might mention in the first quarter he had these problems with his disposal efficiency, Cozzy, but he's come good.
Running at 10% there for a while. But he's hoisted that up to 33%, but it's been a match-winning turn.
So it's 21 of his 32 disposal in the front half. That's where you want Cozzy getting the ball.
Can you hear that? Is that Cozzy?
I think it is.
Langdon at left half forward has a goal next to his name. Veers out to the right. What a finishing touch! As Max Gawn raises his arms in front of the Melbourne fans at the City End. A second for Ed Langdon, and it's going to be a party for Max and for Tom McDonald. The Demons 22 points the good of Carlton as they boot the last 7 goals of the match. And the Blues fans, well, they're definitely leaving now. What does this mean for Carlton fans? The narrative around their second half fade outs. Melbourne 15-9, 99. Carlton 11-11, 77. The D's by 22 points. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
So here are the numbers so far this season for the Blues. This will be the third game they've played. The first game they kicked 6 second half goals to 18. And the game against Richmond, they kicked 1 goal in the second half to Richmond's 4 and just fell over the line there. So far this game, they've kicked 4 goals in the second half, and Melbourne have kicked 14. So it's not only not scoring, it's being scored heavily against.
Just a reminder again, they kicked the first 7 goals of the game, Carlton. It was 7-2-44, plays 1 behind. And the D's have come back and they're going to win pretty comfortably in the end. They're going forward again. Sharp coughs it up, Walsh, he knocks it on. Myercheck soccers it into the pocket. Young tracks it, Myercheck keeps it in. A party trick to finish, no. Across the face and through for a minor score. Melbourne by 23 points.
So total, that's 11 goals for the second half this season to 35.
8 goals for Melbourne in their final term. As Ollie Hollands tries to work it out defence, combines with Cowan, kicks up to Hayward, he marks it left half forward. Hayward's kick is partially smothered by Petty, clears Howes, gathered by Hewitt, out pass back to Hayward, trying to squeeze a kick into the pocket, can't get it there, spoiled by Lever. Gathered by Hayward once more, hand pass to Elijah Hollands, dribbles a hand pass around the ground for Ainsworth, back to Elijah Holland, hemmed in, tackled by Fritsch, jams it onto his boot, to the goal square, Tholstrup hasn't dealt with it yet, Cully gets back, can get the hand pass over the top, and Tholstrup out of defence.
Handball away to Cozzy Pickett, takes a bounce, runs to 50, pokes it over the top, and Tholstrup marks on the back flank.
This is a Carlton horror story written by Stephen King.
Oh, good. That's why I come on Sundays.
The D's on a max with a comeback for the ages. It's a Blues horror story, authored by Stephen King. Melbourne win by 23.
It's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
A truly incredible game of football. Carlton kicked the first 7 goals of it. 40 seconds into their second term, they led 7-2-44, plays 1 behind. 43 points at that point in time, and the D's came all of the way back, and in the end, they kicked the last 7 goals of the match to run out winners by 23 points. 11-11-77, plays 15-10-100. They honour Max Gawn in game 250 with a mighty comeback.
It's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot,
So the goal kickers, just very quickly, for Melbourne, 3 for Bailey Fritsch, 2 the way of Cade Chandler, Ed Langdon and Harvey Langford. Singles to Brodie Myercheck, Harry Sharp, Tom Sparrow, Keziah Pickett and Paddy Cross. While for Carlton, 3 for McGovern, 2 to Hollands. Singles to Jagger Smith, Paddy Cripps, Harry Mackay, Matt Carroll and Taylor Byrne. Whew. That was a game of footy.
Wow.
The Demons make it 2 wins and 1 loss with a 14-4 turnaround in the second half in terms of goals. And the camera focuses in on Michael Voss. The questions as to where the Blues now sit with 1 win and 2 losses. He started his press conference after the win over Richmond by saying, who would be a coach? He's going to feel that today after a 23-point loss to the Demons. And Max Gawn and Cosy Pickett, the cream on top for the Demons fans. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with their assessment as to how the Demons won by 23 points.
I don't really know which angle to take, Bobby.
Not without a soundtrack of ring, 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 like it's Hitchcockian.
Yeah.
It honestly, that is a horror film for Carlton. It's everything. It's all your deepest, darkest fears for the worst of Carlton was on display today. All of the criticism, all of the snide comments, all of the negative stuff that is said and written about Carlton over a number of years, really, that has been perfectly encapsulated today. That today was a game of the shoulds versus the coulds. Carlton should be a good footy club and a good footy team, but they're just not. Melbourne is what could they be? So they are the coulds.
Yep.
And we're seeing this year, we're seeing them reinvent themselves and they're becoming something that we're not quite sure what they are yet, but they seem excited about it and they believe in it. Carlton, on what we see time and time again, when they play on feeling and instinct, they can do it. They can actually play. They can get themselves in front, and they did that again today. If I was to take what I've seen today and boil it down and to do it, and I'll try and do it without sounding condescending, but that might actually be impossible. They seem to be trying. There's 2 types of ball movement for them, which a lot of clubs are doing. And when they go really fast, and we saw that, and they can blow teams away, and then they try and move the ball slowly. A lot of teams are trying to do that. Okay, that makes sense to me. Where they get it horribly, horribly wrong, when it comes to team defence or defending the opposition, however you want to describe it, there is no fast and slow. There is only fast or fierce. That is it.
Yep.
There is no tempo team defence, and they seem to, when they get into, let's try and move the ball around a little bit more methodically and think about the game and start to play human chess, they get dreadfully, dreadfully wobbly. And they get totally overwhelmed and they go into their shell. And when sides get a run on, I'm not sure where they go mentally, because to me it doesn't look like they revert to what's my role now. My role is designed to help the teammates around me, to help their role. So if I just look after what I'm trying to do and help them on the way through, we can weather this storm. I don't know where they go, but it's not back to role.
Yeah, that's a great summary. It's a really good summary into what happened here this afternoon. Both teams are waiting for Max Gawn and Tom McDonald to be cheered off, I think.
So not really what Carlton players probably want to do, is Max is doing the TV interview and everyone's standing in place. So
last thing.
Not all that aware about what's going on.
But yeah, and the shoulds versus the coulds is a good way of describing it too. And I'm still not 100% sure on the shoulds, Carlton being the should. So I think there's enough challenges there with what they've lost and what they haven't been able to produce in the last couple of seasons, as the fans see Max jogging back from his TV commitments to be a part of the cheering off ceremony with big Tom McDonald. You're going to need big men to carry those 2.
And they do, with the Carlton players on either side. So Max Gawn and Tom McDonald, 250 games, a loyal servant of the Demons and reliable defender Tom McDonald. And mighty Max, who might go down as the greatest Demon of all time, an 8-time All-Australian. He has led the club to their premiership triumph, and through tough times, he goes across to Michael Voss and thanks him for his side lining up and gives them a thumbs up. But it will be a celebration for Max and for Tom, and for Carlton it will be an all too familiar Monday morning as they try and make sense of what has taken place. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Yeah, really pleased for Stephen King. We saw this events unfolds similarly 2 weeks ago against St Kilda, the way that they were able to finish the game really strongly. St Kilda looked like they had their measure in that first half. They finished really strongly and got over the line. So they've showed a couple of times in 3 weeks that they've got what it takes.
They believe in the cause.
Yeah,
don't they?
they've got what it takes. They've got the constitution to be a really strong football team. Teams that don't believe, and it's good insight into the mindset, I reckon. Teams that don't believe don't do that. They might get away with it once, but not twice in 3 weeks. Even regardless of the opposition. You don't do that twice in 3 weeks if you're not quite sure. So that echoes a really strong endorsement for Stephen King and the new coaching staff and what they're trying to build. That's a massive tick for the Demons in my view. I think there is a psychological factor with the way they played their second half with Max and Tom, certainly Max, and what they needed to do for him and to honour and respect him and his contribution to the footy club. But there's a belief in the system that they're building, and that's a really positive thing. Now, it's not a full house from Demon supporters here this afternoon. Carlton home game doesn't allow that anyway, but there's a nice contingent here. They're just seeing it unfold in front of their very eyes, that there's going to be something to like about what they're doing. Yeah, they'll still make mistakes. Yeah, they're still a bit jittery behind the ball at times, but they've got some young talent coming through. I really like Windsor's game after quarter time today. Obviously Pickett was electric. I mean, he ended up with 33, 10 inside 50s, 10 score involvements, 1 goal, 6 clearances. It was a terrific game. I like Chandler's involvement. I like Tolstrup's role. Sharp's growing on me every time I see him play. Lindsay's got some real talent. Langford kicked a couple of goals today, had a big impact. So there's that sort of core of that next generation which are blossoming in front of our eyes alongside the experienced campaigners that we've seen and known for a long time in those colours. So there's a nice little phase, I think, coming up for them if they can stay the course.
They just keep pushing, Melbourne. It was stark. At quarter time, we'll put it this way, from quarter time, the inside 50s, Melbourne had 59 and Carlton had 30.
Yep.
After quarter time. Now, that does lend itself to questioning the mental space of where they go.
You have to. It's not the first time this has happened. It's not their first rodeo in this scenario, and they have been found wanting time and time again.
Now, I understand you just can't play ballistic football for 4 quarters like they did in that first quarter, but it's as soon as they can't play absolute flat knacker, red line, offensive run and gun, as soon as they drift into the next phase of their game, the team defence element and the proactive and the instinct to get involved and take a risk, it just completely evaporates.
14 goals to 4 after halftime for the Demons. Statistically, the 5th biggest comeback in Melbourne's history.
Wow.
From 43 points down in the second quarter to win by 23. As the D's make their way in, led by their captain, Max Gawn. Let's join them with Lauren Borden.
Oh, how good in here. It's absolutely chockers. It's not the rooms I thought I was going to be coming down to. A 66-point turnaround is enormous. Max Gawn's obviously led them in. I mean, you can hear everyone clapping, applauding, cheering and yelling as all these players will slowly make their way into a circle and join arms here. Max Gawn did lead them in. He's got his son with him, as he so often does, bring him into the circle. Paddy Cross, well, that's a debut he's never going to forget, is that he's been doused in water. And they're all linking arms here. I think they've nearly got everyone. No, they're closing the circle. There's a few holes left in the circle. We've got everyone in together. And here we go. Singing of the song there. Jake Lever was getting completely into it, and now they're just hugging and patting each other on the backs as well. So I think this is one they're going to keep celebrating, but a great singing of the song there, and they'll continue to enjoy this one for a little bit longer.
Thank you to Lauren Borden down in the Melbourne rooms. We'll bring you some reaction from them. We're on air for another 23 minutes or so here at the MCG. Melbourne by 23 points, 15-10, 100 to Carlton, 11-11, 77. And earlier today, the West Coast Eagles by 2 points over Port Adelaide, 13-14, 92 to the Power, 13-12, 90. The Power kicked the first 4 goals of the game. West Coast took control in the second half. They led by 11 points at three-quarter time, and Port Adelaide drew within 2 points with 2 minutes remaining, and Job Shanahan took a great mark for the Eagles across half-back. So the Eagles record their second win. The Demons record their second win as well. It's been an engaging day of footy, be it with slightly less content to deal with the buys.
Can I just pick up on the conversation we were having before Melbourne went into the rooms to celebrate their incredible victory? Carlton's mental frailties. It feels like Michael Voss cops the brunt of it. Does it reflect on Patrick Cripps's leadership as well, Bob and Half?
Well, I think it reflects on all the leaders of the club. That would include Patrick Cripps, absolutely.
As the captain, though, should he receive maybe more heat in that area?
Probably not more, but I think he has to own it. He has to own a bit of it.
Yep.
Now, he can't assist 17 guys out there at the one time all the time, and it's not the role of the captain. Bob can speak to this better than I can. But I think there's an element of ownership that he and the leadership group would absolutely be needing to take on the back of what's happened again.
Yeah, I think Patrick. I think he has to take a share of it. It doesn't seem to me that he's not getting enough. I think that a few. You can see that the Carlton players. You can see the ones that get it. You can see Jacob Wiedering gets it. You can see Louis Young in that second half. He gets it. That when the heat comes, that they don't second guess everything. There's players out there who understand their role. So I have a belief that play your role is the most underrated, beautiful cliche in the game. And we hear it ad nauseum of players who say it, and we stop hearing it. But in its true sense, it is like a football's meditation. And it's not for just middle of summer and when you're 6 goals up. No, it's play your role is this absolute gift, and its superpower is when an opposition kicks 2 goals against you quickly, or you have 2 losses in a row. It's like, hang on, where do we go? When the outside noise gets that, the crowd lifts, or the score, but all of those things. It's like, where do you go? And if you understand your role and you can do it fanatically and you trust the guys around you to do it, things will be okay. And Carlton, they just, time and time again, I wonder if that's where they go.
Is it system
It's a
as
system.
well?
We'll come back to that with Bob Murphy and Dan Harford. Let's head down to Lauren Borden in the winners' rooms.
Thanks, Clinchy. I've got Bailey Fritsch standing next to me. I mean, Bailey, normally we start at the finish, but I want to start at the start. So, inside 50s at 21-5 in the first quarter. You're 43 points down at the start of the second. You come back and win. What changed for you?
Yeah, I think early on, obviously, as forwards, we're getting starved a little bit, but I think we just started using the ball off the line a bit. I think we were playing a little bit safe down the line and playing into Carlton's hands. But we had a good talking to, had some clear methods going forward at half time, and we'll be able to implement them. In the second half, and wear Carlton down. So no, it was definitely one of the better wins I've been involved in.
We don't know, I guess, much about Stephen King as a senior coach of an AFL side. He doesn't strike us as someone who probably gives a big spray, but what was he like at quarter time?
No, he's pretty calculated. He was pretty stern, though. We go after a game and we've worked, incredibly hard in an off-season about how we want to implement our game plan and what we want to put out on game day. So, and that definitely wasn't to the level in the first half. So to be able to rectify that and, have a really big comeback was unbelievable.
And 4 goals for yourself today. They all came from time on in the third quarter onwards. And I know you're not going to want to talk about yourself specifically, but obviously you get those opportunities. You must be rapt that you had those moments and you were able to take them so your side could keep progressing.
Yeah, no, it was a power of work of the defenders and midfielders up the ground. But I pride myself on when I get an opportunity at times, I'm not a big accumulator of the ball and I want to make it count. So, I was lucky enough to see a few go through the big sticks, which was nice.
Melbourne forward Bailey Fritsch with us on ABC Sport. I'll send you up to the box now for some more questions from Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Bailey, Daniel Harford, mate, well done you and the lads. It was quite something to watch in real time to see the game change so quickly in the second half. We've been talking a lot up here about the psychology of you guys being able to stay the course, believe in what you're building with Stephen King and co, and you've done it twice in 3 weeks now, but also the psychology of of Carlton being under pressure in second halves in the last couple of years. Did that come into the conversation at all?
Yeah, I think it definitely at half time. We knew that we've done a power of work in the off season from a running power point of view, and it's no lie that they've probably struggled early on in this season in second half. So, we knew that if we put 1 or 2 goals together, that they were going to be put under the pump, and we're lucky enough to do that. And they threw a few punches back to us as well, but I think it was pretty powerful. The crowd was going nuts. It was that's why we play footy.
Well, 14 goals to 4 in the second half suggests it worked pretty well, what you were able to believe and put into practice. The other part of the psychology was Max. I know Big Tom was 250 games as well, but there's not too many Max Gorns in footy clubs around the country. How important was it to do something for him?
Oh, massive. Tommy as well. They've been at this club through the darkest times. They've won a flag together. They're great leaders. They're great fathers. And they're guys that you want to have at your footy club. And... to see Max in that last quarter clunk a few when the game was on the line, and his tap work is as good as anyone ever. So, to get that win for them too, and to see them cheered off after a victory was, I think, pretty fitting.
Bailey, Bob Murphy here. Congratulations again, just to echo what Half just spoke about. An inspiring win. By any measure, it was quite incredible to watch, and you should feel proud for your role in that. You mentioned the second half, but just from our perspective, it actually looked like in the second quarter, despite the fact you guys weren't able to hit the scoreboard, you actually were able to get your hands on the ball and start to get in the contest a bit more. Was that a conscious thing at quarter time of just you just had to find your midfielders to get your hands on the ball to get the game played in your half?
100%. We come in at quarter time, and I think everywhere the ball was in the first quarter, they were outnumbering us. They played an assertive defence, and we were just playing into their hands, kicking long down the line. They had 3-1, 4-2. But I think as the second quarter come around, we started going over with our man as a forward group and even a mid group, and just equalising and then put them in a contest. And I think that's where we thrive off the back of that. And as you say, we didn't quite get it on the scoreboard in that second quarter, but we definitely started to feel that the game started to turn. And then we took that into, obviously, the break, and it come out in that third quarter and really started to put the foot down.
So why is it, Bailey? So it might be too difficult for you to comment on Carlton, but when we watch the second half, it looks like you and your teammates have a sense of calm about the situation and just get to work and react to what the game needs. And your opposition looked like it was totally consumed by panic. How would you describe the mental state of you and your teammates in that second half when the game was up for grabs?
I think it's something that we've worked on over a number of years, but Kingy's brought a massive sense of calm across the group, and no matter what position, we can always keep moving forward. And if you were out in the ground, as much as we didn't want to be down by 8 goals at quarter time, there was a sense of calm across the group. We had clear pathways forward, and I think off the back of that, that's how you get back into games of footy. So it was really exciting. We've got some older heads here, but we do have a very young group out here, and to see those boys really, put their finger on the game. And you have, like Cozzy Pickett, his second half was unbelievable. You got Caleb Windsor running through the middle. These guys are just going to keep growing, and it's a really exciting future, I think.
Did I see you at Caulfield, the trials on Thursday morning, Bailey?
As soon as I knew that I was doing it with you, I thought this could come up. Yes.
So you saw me and didn't say hello, is that what you're saying?
Well, I thought the same thing, to be honest. We'll definitely say good day next time.
Were you happy with the trial?
It wasn't too bad. It's a horse that's just had one start, so it's back for its second prep. So exciting times. What about you?
No, we're just growing with our little filly at the moment. It's okay. Baby steps.
It's a tough game.
I didn't want to be the flog who come up and said good day. That was me, mate.
We go way back. You actually interviewed me in an EFL under-16s thing about 10 years ago. So,
is that right?
Yes. And I tried to get off the stage with out talking to you because I hate talking in front of people. And you made me come back, and then you started talking about my hair, and then that's where it all started from.
And look at you now, how good you are in the media. Look at you now.
Bailey French and Daniel Harford just having a nice little catch-up.
Sorry about that.
Bailey, as we let you go, obviously the Gold Coast Suns next Sunday, Christian Petrarca won't be there, but what you're trying to build under Stephen King this season, to challenge yourself against the side like the Bulldogs, who haven't dropped a game so far this season.
Yeah, I think, they're going to be the benchmark for this season. So, what a test to put our brand against the best. And, I'm really looking forward to that. We've got a 7-day break. We'll recover well and, look forward to the G next week.
And is there anything finally you'd like to say about Max Gawn or Tom McDonald you haven't said in closing?
Just legends of our football club that will be remembered forever. And, we love playing with them. And, well done to them.
Bailey, thanks as always for your time. Congratulations. 5th biggest comeback in Melbourne history. Well done.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, guys.
Bailey Fritsch chatting with Daniel Harford, Bob Murphy, Matt Clinch, Ben Cameron along for the ride. The Demons storming home in the second half with 14 goals to 4 to win by 23 points. He's been through some ups and downs in his career, Bailey Fritsch, but 4 goals in the match. He was a part of the turning point for the Demons after half-time.
Yeah, it's a pretty big impact, isn't it? 4 goals in the second half. And as Loz said, it was after time on in the third quarter too, so it's 40 minutes of footy. He kicked those 4 goals. And he had some help, of course. And you mentioned Cosy Pickett. His second half was unbelievable.
Betty poses the question on the SMS, 0437 774 774. Is that Melbourne's best win since their flag?
Well, I need more information on what they've done in the last couple of years. But
have to be pretty close.
Close. Well, if it's 5th best comeback of all time,
yep,
it would suggest it's pretty close.
Let's rubber stamp
that final win against Geelong, which has got to be up there. But, yep, I think it's certainly up there. We might have to try and get some Carlton correspondence. So if you're listening to us and want to get in touch on the SMS, 0437 774 774. Benny's keen to open up the lines to Carlton fans if we can do that to see how they're feeling. But
because it can't be fitness, can it? Like, we touched on this at half-time, during the third quarter. Melbourne flew back from Perth.
Yep.
Which is historically a very challenging thing to do, to back up and be at your best. Carlton had 17 days off, and maybe they had too long off. But this happens time and time again. Carlton can't be the most unfit team in the competition year in, year out. That can't be right.
But look, it's just my logic. But if the 17-day factor was to play a part negatively for Carlton, they would have missed the jump. That's what your logic would say, that, okay, you're a bit off the match sort of pace intensity. Well, that was not the case today, because they absolutely blew Melbourne off the park in that first quarter.
Yep. Maybe
so it's the inverse of that. So so many questions about what happens.
And we're loving the story of the D's and what they've been able to do in the last couple of weeks, or 2 of the 3 weeks. But the focus has to be Carlton. I hate focusing on the loser, but the focus has to be Carlton.
So I guess, like Simon Goodwin, eventually the question to be able to solve the problem in which your team is going through. So there was a stat that was obviously a part of the television broadcast. The Blues fade outs, their total points differential 20-25-26. First half 155 positive, second half minus 276. So that was before today. The Demons had 1 goal, 6 at half time. They finished with 100 points.
Yeah, so the 11 goals in the second half this year, they've kicked 11 goals, Carlton, and their opponents have kicked 36. I brought this stat in with me, ready for this conversation. I didn't expect to use it.
You had it in the chamber, ready to go.
I had the 6
preloaded.
6 goals to 18 in the second half against Sydney, 1 goal to 4 against Richmond second half. I didn't expect to be able to use it today.
So as of now, it's 11 goals to
36. So they're 150 points down in the second half just this year in 3 games.
That's a great stat.
Games are too long.
I think that's what Michael Voss might open his press conference with.
What? Well, I feel like I've been pretty harsh on the Blues for the past 20 minutes, so I just wanted to give one back.
Oh, that's so good.
What could Michael Voss say in the press conference tonight?
Are we going to take that? We got time.
Essendon would be the happiest bunch in the world. They've been moved off the back page.
Correct, 100% correct. One of our SMSs was asking that before.
It'll be hard to hear him underneath a Ned Kelly helmet that he'll take to that press conference.
What would you say, Half? So I'm the journalist, you're the Carlton coach, which you once were. What happened there, Michael?
Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know what he's going to say. I really don't know how I'd answer that question. I don't know what to do. I don't know what... We stopped, is how I'd probably start it. We stopped.
What do they say? The truth sets you free, but first it'll annoy you. So I think anything but an unvarnished truth would be accepted really poorly by the Carlton faithful.
Oh, no doubt. But I'm not sure you can go the Brad Scott, we're demoralised.
Right? No.
So you can't play. I don't think you can play that card.
Can you concede it's mental?
You would have to.
But here's the thing, and we did touch on it before, of the mental and the physical and then system. It is all intertwined. I probably went on a bit too long. Let's be honest, around the ethos around your role. But the system of it is that your role and your teammates' roles, that has been built by the coaches for it to be a system.
Yeah.
So that's where the belief in yourself and your teammates becomes a system of, hang on, this is how it all works together. Half, you're doing this. Clinchy, you're doing this. And when the game stops, you're doing this, Ben. And they all should complement one another.
Yep.
My issue, and more of a question than an issue with Carlton, is when the external noise gets loud, and whether that is scoreboard or whether it's literally the crowd or a momentum of a game, whatever it is, the difficulties that is elite sport, when that happens, I don't think they revert to their own role enough, and I don't know if they appreciate what each other's role is enough.
So they play this scenario individually as opposed
I believe so. So some of them are then trying harder. Paddy Cripps probably just tries harder, which he can only do so much. But play your role, I believe, is the most beautiful cliche. And the key part of it is you have to understand it. You have to understand it inside out.
And you have to believe it.
And you have to believe it.
So if you don't believe it, then people start taking on their own onus to try and win the game, change the circumstances, and that's ultimately going to be the biggest question for Michael Voss, to try and prove to the board in his final year of coaching this side that he has the weapons and the skill power to be able to change this mentality.
And it's hard to believe it when you don't get the reward. So if you don't see the benefits of your system, of your role in that system, and they haven't been able to experience it. When even the Richmond game, they got the 4 points, but it was a bad day, a bad night in the office. They played bad footy, and when Richmond came in that scenario, they, in my view, they probably should have won the game. Now you don't should and could have don't give you 4 points, but it was just a sign that they still don't believe it. They still don't understand it, or still don't believe it. That was the writing was on the wall there watching that game. And then I had that stat. I wasn't prepared to use. Didn't think I was going to have to use it, but it has to be now a balance of what Bob's saying and how that affects them psychologically. And that has to go to the coach and the coaching staff and say, well, we haven't prepared you correctly. In that scenario, you don't know what to do. And that's got to be on me.
And there's going to be the questions for Michael Voss. 0437 774 774. We ask for your reaction to Carlton's loss. Ben says we have a big-bodied midfield that battles the opposition when fresh and then can't work both ways. That, and we don't have enough elite kicks. Andrew says Carlton are in the bottom four now and will be there at the end of the year. Ben says Carlton has lost the same way for 5 years. None of this is surprising for a 30-year Carlton member. G'day team, Grant here in Hobart. Carlton fade out in the second half of game, but that's not the only problem. Carlton will have a new coach within a month. So there's some of the snapshots coming through from your reaction, 0437 774 774. So the themes are relatively consistent. The Blues start well, but they don't capitalise. They run out of petrol somewhere in the third quarter. They miss chances in front of goal to try and stabilise. And then the pressure starts to be amongst them that they stop taking any risks and try and play conservative footy, and teams catch momentum. And Melbourne finished with the last 7 goals of the game.
11 of the last 13.
Yeah.
When they move the ball slowly, they defend lethargically.
Yeah, that was a really good read, I reckon. Yep. When they play offensively slowly, they defend slowly. That's a really good read.
And like I said, I thought, Melbourne rolling up in their civvies, they were very casual today, and they stayed relaxed even when the game was going against them. So I think rolling up in the civvies is masterstroke.
You went early on that, didn't you?
Yeah.
23-point win for the Demons.
Strong on it.
The votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year.
Yes.
Do you want some numbers, Half, or are you happy to fire away? Sam Walsh finished with 31 for the Blues. Cozzy Pickett has had a career best day for him in terms of disposals.
Votes. I don't
33 disposals, a goal, 821 metres gained.
He could fumble this.
Nah, I've got this covered. Caleb Windsor gets 1 vote for the Demons. He was very, very good. And I reckon him in the third quarter was one of the game changers too. Not that you want to just play one quarter and get a vote, but I reckon he was terrific. Ended up with 24 disposals, 5 tackles, 8 inside 50s, 9 handball receives. He was 4 score involvements. He was very, very good. Caleb Windsor liked his game. Big Max is getting 2. Now, he had a slow start. His first quarter was ordinary. And the second half in particular, now we're probably going to be biased towards the second half for a lot of these votes, the way the game was played. He dominated stoppage. He dominated contest, ended up with 58 hitouts. Pitnet had 19 as a reference. Absolutely dominated, took the game away from Carlton, the contest in that second half, and was one of the key reasons why. Ended up with 23 disposals, but he was awesome, Big Maxi, outside that first quarter. And then 3 votes for the guy that we all love to come and watch play footy, and despite the fact it didn't go his way early, one effective disposal in his first 10, he was the difference, full stop. Today, Cozzy Pickett, the number 36 for the D's, 33 disposals in the end. I don't really care about his numbers. It's how he impacted.
Yeah.
He was electric. He was the one that was giving the ball from the attacking side of the centre into the forward 50 with precision, creating opportunities for his teammates. Kicked 1 goal, 2, 10 inside 50s, 10 score involvements. He was the game breaker. He was the best and most valuable player on the ground by a mile.
So Cozzy Pickett gets the 3 votes from Daniel Harford in the ABC Footballer of the Year, 2 to Max Gawn and 1 to Caleb Windsor. Peter says, hi panel, Adam Simpson must be getting ready for his coaching kit. Sean from Mount Gambier, Bomber supporter here, almost feel their pain. And Joe the Crow from Canberra, enjoyed the coverage, folks. Assistant coaches, who does Carlton have as assistant coaches? Why not go for someone like Nathan Buckley, who's at Geelong? Andrew says, North Melbourne and Carlton next week. North will be favourites.
Oh.
And Ron in Bendigo, I hope this reaches the ABC Sport team. Half and Bob, the best Sunday team going around. I tune in for you guys.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's true.
The beauty is you can catch Bob
Part of me wants to
Murphy
disagree with him. I'm really trying to disagree with him.
on ABC Radio Melbourne from 5:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I beg your pardon?
5:30?
6.
Oh, gee whiz.
In there by 5:30.
It's just
in there by 4.
when you say it out loud. One go, Carl.
And Daniel Harford will be wrapping up all the weekend's footy with Ben Cameron on the ABC AFL Daily podcast. The Demons winners by 23 points. Sorry, Bob, the extra half an hour. So that takes us to next week. We kick off, of course, with round 4. Brisbane and Collingwood from the Gabba on Thursday night. The Good Friday clash between North Melbourne and Carlton is a doubleheader now. Adelaide and Fremantle.
It's a Good Friday.
On the Adelaide Oval.
Oh, nice.
I
never mean that. Philado football.
Just quickly, some breaking news as well. The AFL has secured Australia's Princess of Pop, her Mitch Cleary, Kylie Minogue, to headline this year's grand final pre-game entertainment.
I can't get out of my head, so that's a good result.
You better the devil, you know. You mentioned that today,
today.
and it was a Kylie song in regards to Harrison Petty, which that was the only bum note of the day because, you know, Petty, Minogue, it's not the same playlist. But anyway.
Time for us to get out of here. Thank you to Bob Murphy. Thank you to Daniel Harford.
And your team.
Thank you to Loz Borden down on the boundary, to Benny Cameron, to Jules at the back of the box, to Cash back at base, and to Loz Borden down on the boundary. It's going to be a big week for Brad Scott and for Michael Voss. The Demons winners by 23 points. They put at the last 7 goals of the match to run home in Max Gawn and Tom McDonald's 250th game. From the MCG, good night.